And a very pleasant good evening, everyone, and welcome to Wildcat Stadium in Cassville, Missouri, as the Cassville Wildcats set to kick off the 2025 high school football season here on the Talon Sports Network. Glad to be with you for another year of Wildcat football here on the Talon Network. Cassville opening up at home. They'll be taking on the Seneca Indians. It'll be a Big 8 conference battle to get things rolling here this evening, and just a gorgeous night for opening night of high school football here in Southwest Missouri. Last night there was one game that was played, and it was up in Springfield. Marshfield beat Parkview 7-6. Everyone else joining in tonight, and it's a busy slate, not only in the Big 8, but all around the area, and we're glad to be along with you here once again for Wildcat Football on KQMO 97.7 FM and live streaming video at CassvilleWebTV.com. Thanks for being with us. I'm Sammy Clapper, joined again for another year of Wildcat Football. Running the camera on Web TV, Todd Speakman, and my broadcast partner. We begin our 23rd year together covering Wildcat Football as Jeremy Marple back with us again. And partner, appreciate you being here again, and boy, looking forward to get the season up and running.
I guess we started in elementary. So
it was something like that, I think.
Yeah. No, hey,
I'll go along with that.
Yes. It's an exciting time. I tell you what, normally this game, it's 94 outside instead of 74 like it is today. Great weather. Stands are filling up. It's just going to be a great night for football.
Yeah, I was talking with all the coaches during Coach's Corner this week, and I said, hopefully this doesn't all come back to bite us in September and the 90-plus degree temperatures return. But we'll take this while we can get it, because as you said, now we're still going to have our mandatory water breaks tonight because the first 3 weeks it's a Missouri State High School Activity Association rule. But that's not always a bad thing. The first part of last week and even into the tail end of last week in some areas, it was pretty hot, so everyone's still trying to assimilate to things. So making sure the kids are well hydrated not only combats the cramps, but it just helps the flow of the game too.
Yeah, not only that, it lets the coaching staff talk to their kids a little bit more.
Yeah, that free timeout's always appreciated, I'm sure.
First 3 weeks of the season, that's not a bad thing to get everyone on the same page.
Well, we're going to jump right into the Mercy Hospital pregame show here tonight. Mercy Hospital, where your life is their life's work. Mercy Hospital in Cassville, and we're going to go over the field condition report as they got some rain down here early in the week, and that has really softened up the playing surface and really made it in fine shape because it was getting dry here in Southwest Missouri. We were needing some moisture, and thankful for that rain earlier in the week as well. Field condition report is brought to you by Security Insurance Agency in Cassville. What condition is your insurance in? Are you covered for the hazards of weather or losses unexpected? Call Security Insurance in Cassville at 847-8384. That's 847-8384. And the field is in beautiful shape. They've been doing a great job taking care of it all summer long. And even with the rain we had earlier in the week, it was just enough to give it a little softer feel for opening night. It is just gorgeous. They've got, you and I were talking about this earlier, a new paint machine that has lined and striped everything, and it's just great shape tonight for the season opener.
Oh, it's outstanding. We got a pretty good rain, a welcomed rain yesterday, in fact. And so I was concerned how the middle of this football field will handle Friday night. So we'll see. I didn't notice a lot of slippage out there during warm-ups. Guys seem to be able to plant, cut a little bit. So I think it's going to play real well.
Cassville Marching Band coming out. They'll be performing the national anthem here shortly, and we'll take a break for that. But other games around the Big 8 tonight, besides Cassville hosting Seneca here this evening, we got Nevada at Monette, Mount Vernon's at Aurora, McDonald County at Lamar, and East Newton is playing the non-conference game this week as they're hosting Springfield Catholic. So some interesting matchups in week number 1 all the way around.
Yeah, Mount Vernon and Aurora, week 1.
The old Bell Bowl.
Not wasting any time over there. That'll be interesting.
Some other matchups that will be keeping interest of folks all around Southwest Missouri in the COC. We've got that big Nixa Republic matchup. So some really good matchups to open up the 2025 schedule. We're going to take a break here real quick as the Cassville Marching Band getting set up for the National Anthem. The National Anthem brought to you this year by Stump Realty and Auction Service as they salute all of those who have fought for the flag. Locally owned, specializing in real estate auctions. Check out their website at stumpauctions.com for upcoming sales or contact them for your next auction. Sold them with Stump Realty and Auction Service. We'll step aside, let you hear from our sponsors of tonight's broadcast, and then be back with more of the Mercy pregame show here on the Talon Network. Here in Cassville as the Wildcats getting set to take on the Seneca Indians here in the Big 8 Conference and season opener for both schools. And we will continue on with the Mercy Hospital pregame show. Mercy Hospital, where quality care matters. It's time for tonight's Wildcat Keys to Victory, and they're brought to you by Heritage Tractor. Heritage Tractor is your local John Deere dealer. They have various locations throughout the area. It's a great time of year to buy a tractor. Stop in for a great deal and low financing. Well, Seneca back-to-back trips to the state championship game in Class 3. They finished runner-up both years. Last year getting beat in the state championship game by Blair Oaks. But they've got a lot of quality kids back from that team that went all the way. In fact, a lot of starters from the two teams that made deep runs into the postseason. A kid we saw as a sophomore a couple of years ago that opened our eyes, Brody Probert. He's now the starting quarterback. Last year he shared duties with Caden Klaus. But Roman Miller's still there. Kai Adams is still there. They still got some talent up on the offensive line and defensive fronts. Seneca definitely going to be a handful. And with Seneca, you've always got to slow down their running game to be a key to a win.
That is true, and that's been the case for years with Seneca Indians. However, they've developed a passing game over the last couple of years that has taken them to the next level. They're going to put a great football team out here on the field tonight. And Wildcats are going to have their work cut out for them. But that's why you play the game. You don't play it on paper, and you don't play it, okay, they've got this guy, this guy, this guy. You got to go out and compete. Roll the ball out there and play the game.
Same thing applies to Cassville, too, for a key to a win. They got to be able to run the football. They only graduated 5 seniors, but two of their leading ball carriers, quarterback Bodie Rose and running back Kyle Bailey, both lost to graduation. So the guys that are coming back, they're going to have to establish a running game to try to be successful, because that's one way you can beat Seneca is keep the ball away from them.
Yeah, true. And, ball control is a key that the Wildcats want to do. Wildcats have some skill position guys. They've got guys that can run. They've got guys that can do some things. Question mark heading into this season is going to be, what are they going to look like up front? Are they going to eventually get everyone healthy up front and be able to control that line of scrimmage?
Seems like a key to a win, too, and, of course, this sounds like an obvious thing, is to win the turnover battle. But with a team like Seneca, we've seen it happen to Cassville in years past. It seems like they always take advantage of turnovers by putting points on the board. They do it a little more than other teams, especially against the Wildcats. So taking care of the football is going to be key tonight.
Yeah, it is. And Seneca, when they smell that blood in the water, they're going to attack. And when we talk about their running game, they've got a couple running backs going to be coming out of that backfield, 210 to 225 pounds. Probert at quarterbacks, nearly 200 pounds, a very good athlete. He's going to run the football. And when you start creeping up to stop that run, that's when they're going to try to attack you over the top. And so the secondary of the Wildcats is going to have to be on their toes tonight.
Again, the Wildcat Keys to Victory brought to you by Heritage Tractor. They're your local John Deere dealer. They offer new and used equipment from your backyard to your farm to your ranch. They've got equipment ranging from construction and compact utility tractors all the way to lawnmowers and recreational vehicles, and they work hard to find the right products for you. Stop by or visit heritagetractor.com. Well, the tunnels are being formed by the student body that has come over from Seneca, and also the Cassville Marching Band and the student body here at Cassville. We're still about 10 or 12 minutes away from tonight's opening kickoff, so that'll allow us to take another break and let you hear from some of the sponsors of tonight's broadcast. We'll be back with more of the Mercy Hospital pregame show right after this. Whether it's balls or strikes, fouls or flags, your referees and game officials are a vital part of high school athletics. If you've ever tried your hand at officiating, you know how hard these men and women work, and you certainly know they would never miss a call intentionally. Keep these things in mind when you attend high school sporting events. After all, respecting officials and authority figures is one of the most valuable lessons that we can teach our students. This sportsmanship reminder brought to you by Access Family Care, with locations in Cassville, Neosho, Aurora, Mount Vernon, and Joplin. Cassville 4-6 a year ago. They went 4-4 in the Big 8. Won 2 of their last 3 ball games. Closed out the regular season with victories at home against Monette in the Berry County Brawl. Then picked up a nice win on the road at Aurora before losing in the district to East Newton. Seneca, as we said earlier, they went 13-1. They were the unbeaten Big 8 champs last year, 8-0. They did not lose a game until the state championship game when they lost 38-28 and finished runner-up to Blair Oaks. So Seneca continues after back-to-back years to the state championship. They've still got a really good core group of players, and they look to continue on. Cassville had a nice little resurgence. They started off winning 2 of their first 4 and then won the last 2 games. So they're hoping to build a little momentum. East Newton was a headache for them last year. But aside from that, they closed out the season with a little momentum, so they're hoping that the returning kids, and they've got a bunch of returning kids. We talked about only 5 seniors graduating last year, so a lot of kids returning with varsity experience. The big thing for Cassville, they just got to try to stay healthy.
Well, and you look at the middle of that schedule, Sammy, and 3 losses in a row by 1 possession. So the season could have looked a lot different if the ball had bounced a different way or two. So, that's why I say you got to play the game. You got to finish the game. And Wildcats had some trouble with that last season, but they're going to try to overcome that this year and play some good football.
And, of course, this conference is just so brutal. You got Seneca going to the state championship game in Class 3. Lamar won the state championship in Class 2. And then Mount Vernon won a district championship last year. That's just the caliber of teams you're going to be playing every Friday night.
Well, and it's been that way for a long time now. And, people around the state of Missouri, they know the Big 8 conference, and they know the quality of football that comes out of this conference.
All right, time for tonight, Cassville Wildcats starting lineup. The Wildcats starting lineup brought to you by Fast Trip at 104 South Main in Cassville. Great prices and friendly service is what you'll find at Fast Trip. Stop by today, locally owned by Mike and Anita Carr. On the defensive side for the Wildcats, up front they'll have Trevor Brooks. He's a 6', 210-pound senior, and Ricky Norris, a 6'2", 215-pound junior. The defensive ends will be Sky Yang, 5'9", 210 senior, and Zach Myers, 6', 200-pound sophomore. Linebacking core for the Wildcats, Camden Beebe, a 5'9", 170 junior. Mason Bryan, 5'10", 140 junior. And Tristan Thompson, 5'9", 175 senior. The cornerbacks will be Mace Bredesen, 5'10", 150 sophomore. And Colton Roark, 6'1", 185 senior. And the safeties, Chance Freed, 5'5", 140 senior. It was going to be Carlos Barrientos, but he is injured, will not be able to play tonight, so we'll have to see who they put in the secondary to replace him. He is also going to be missed on the offensive side of the football because he was going to be one of the starting receivers. We've got a feeling that Chance Freed may be the other starting receiver. We'll see who Coach Weldy sends out. But Colton Roark will be starting at wideout, a 6'1", 185 senior. The running backs, Mason Bryan, 5'10", 190 junior, and Tristan Thompson, 5'9", 175 senior. Quarterback, Jaron Stern, 6', 150 junior. Tight end, Travis Moore, 6'1", 215 senior. And the offensive line for Cassville at center, Isaac Looney, 6', 245 senior. Right guard, Ethan Sizemore, 6', 230 senior. Right tackle, Logan Williams, 6'6", 300-pound senior. Left guard, Ricky Norris, 6'2", 215 junior. And left tackle, Harley Madison, 6'4", 220-pound junior. Again, the Wildcat starting lineup brought to you by Fast Trip. Whether for fuel, grocery items, fountain drinks, snacks, ice cream, they have it all and at the very best prices. Fast Trip, 104 South Main in Cassville, locally owned by Mike and Anita Carr. The Wildcats dressed in their all black tonight. Black jerseys, black pants with the gold numerals on the front and back. The black helmets with the Wildcat logo. Seneca, in their tradition, white jerseys, red pants, all white helmets, red numbers. That's been the Seneca uniform for as long as I can remember. One time they did put numbers on the helmets. That's the only time I can ever remember them changing things up a little bit. They put numbers on the helmets one year. But other than that, it's been all white headgear, the white jerseys, and the red pants. And then, of course, when they play at home, they flip it. They go the red jerseys with the white pants.
Yep, they just kind of like a Penn State look, except it's red and white instead of the navy and white. So it's just a classic old school football look, and it's clean and sharp.
Captains this year for Cassville are joining Coach Weldy down on the sidelines with the officiating crew. Coach Hilburn from Seneca is gathering his captains across the way. We're going to have the coin toss here in just a minute. Captains for the Wildcats here in 2025, we got Isaac Looney. We also have Tristan Thompson, Colton Roark, and Sky Yang. The seniors will be heading out to the middle of the field. We've still got about 4 minutes before tonight's opening kickoff. Tonight's coin toss is brought to you by Clark Mental Health Center. They have offices in Berry, Lawrence, and Dade County. You can go to www.clarkmentalhealth.com to find the phone number for services in your area. Clark Community Mental Health Center, moving forward, improving lives and communities through compassion and care. Well, while they go over the preliminaries and get the coin toss taken care of, it'll give us an opportunity to take a quick break and hear some more from the sponsors of tonight's ball game. So we will do that now and then be back with tonight's opening kick. You're listening to Big 8 Conference Football here on the Talon Network. The toss, and they have deferred their option to the second half, so Cassville will get the football to start tonight's first quarter. That's going to wrap up the Mercy Hospital pregame show. Mercy Hospital, where your life is their life's work. Mercy Hospital, where quality care matters in Cassville. Seneca wants to defend the south end zone. So Cassville will be starting at the north end, receiving the opening kickoff from the Indians.
They'll get a chance to see this Wildcat offense right out of the chute. New quarterback under center for the first time in a handful of years, with Jaron Stearns getting to run the show. He'll have some nerves, I'm sure, coming out here opening night.
And unfortunately for Cassville, they got dinged up a little bit in the jamboree, so couple of players that they were hoping to count on both sides of the football will not be available tonight. We already mentioned Barry Entos, but a couple of other Wildcat players out here in week number 1 with the injuries, so we'll see how that goes along. Back deep to return for Cassville, we got Mason Bryan and Colton Roark. And teeing things up for the Indians, it is Drew Sherwood.
Sherwood showed a fairly strong leg in warm-ups. So we'll see if he kicks this deep or not.
They got a fresh 12 minutes on the clock, and we're just about ready to get the 2025 season underway. Big 8 Conference and season opener for both Seneca and Cassville here tonight at Wildcat Stadium. Sherwood awaits the whistle. And he receives it, approaches and kicks it away. Angles it down the left hash, headed towards the sidelines, and it goes out of play. And Cassville's going to get the football to start at their own 35, so good opening starting field position after it goes off the side of Sherwood's foot and angles out of bounds.
Yeah, just hooked it down the sideline. Looked like they were trying to angle it away from Roark, but hooked it a little too much. Wildcats will start in good position right here.
So Jaron Stearns, the new quarterback for Cassville, 6 foot, 150-pound junior. He'll bring his team up to the line of scrimmage. He will have Bryan and Tristan Thompson, Mason Bryan that is, in the backfield. Colton Roark will be split out one direction. Looks like the other receiver is going to be Jaden Castleberry right now. Castleberry getting the start, senior, 5'10", 145. He'll go wide to the left.
And it looks like the official
They still haven't started the play clock.
is placing the ball at the 40.
So I never saw a flag. Is that a new rule that I have neglected to catch hold of? I mean, NFL's always moving things all around, giving them extra yardage now to increase the offensive side. So
the officials are going to talk about it for a minute. Everybody's wondering where to set the football.
yeah, they're saying, hey, what's going on? It used to be the 35. Why are we putting it at the 40? Is that a new rule? It's like, so I think the officials are as confused as we are right now. Umpires talking to a line judge. Referees talking to the other line judge. And it looks like now we're going to move it back to the 35. So now they're explaining things to Coach Hilburn and Coach Weldy. Now, if this isn't the NFL, we haven't given you an extra 5 yards this year like they do in the National Football League. Now Cassville up to the line of scrimmage. Castleberry out wide to the left. Wildcats breaking huddle, quickly up to the line, comes set, bring a man in motion, that's Moore. Full house backfield behind Stearns. He pitches the ball back to Roark, who lines up back there with Bryan and Thompson. Takes it around the left end with a couple of lead blockers, moves his way out to the 40-yard line. It's a gain of 5, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 7.
And now the Wildcats have the ball at the 40. Little toss sweep, couple lead blockers out there. Roark lowering that shoulder, powering his way forward.
So a good pickup on the first play of 2025. 2nd down and 5 for Cassville. The ball at their own 40-yard line. Just underway here in the first quarter. Tonight's first quarter brought to you by Michael's Hardware at 186 Sale Barn Road in Cassville. For your project questions, call Michael's. Friendly folks, serious hardware. Twin receivers out to the left. They give to the tailback, Bryan. Big hole up the middle, and he takes it across the 45 and picks up a 1st down.
Yeah, nice job right there. Mason Bryan was another one of these football players who played a lot as a freshman. Was hurt last year, didn't get to play, and now he's back this year. He did a good job for him as a freshman. I believe, first game he played in as a freshman had a pick 6. So it's good to get him back out on the field.
Wildcat first down brought to you by Superior Metal, their first in color selection. Check out their gallery at superiormetalsalesinc.com. Single receivers right and left, split backfield behind Stearns, gives the ball to Thompson. Thompson breaks a tackle at midfield. He's into Seneca territory and is finally spun down at the 46-yard line. Looked like he was going to get the 1st down there for a minute, but a nice open field tackle by the Seneca defense holds him to a gain of 8.
Yeah, hard run there by Thompson. How about the job this Wildcat offensive line is doing so far? They're firing off the football, creating some room for these Wildcat runners. Thompson taking a shot in the legs at the end of that run, but a nice gain on 1st down.
So 3 plays, and Cassville's in Seneca territory. 2 minutes gone here in the opening quarter. 2nd down and 2 for the Wildcats. Receivers right and left again. Up to the line of scrimmage. Seneca with a 4-man front. Stearns is going to run it himself this time. Has a couple of blockers in front. Is hit behind the line of scrimmage. Fights ahead to the 45 for a pickup of 1. And it'll bring up 3rd down and 1.
Well, the Wildcats used to love to run that play with Rose last year, as he would take the snap from under center and just follow his running backs around the edge, looking for those blocks, trying to find a seam. Stearns not quite able to get there. It's 3rd and about 2 feet right here.
First 3rd down situation of the night. Cassville at the Seneca 45-yard line. Roark comes wide to the right. Looney comes out of the huddle, gets up to the center position. Now here comes the rest of the team. They hand the ball off to Bryan. He's got the first down. He's got a kick-out block. He's inside the 40, down inside the 35, all the way down to the 33.
Another nice run. Made a nice move once he got through the line of scrimmage, but up front on that right side, Sizemore, and it looks like big Logan Williams just mauled the defensive line there, allowing Mason Bryan to fire through there in a big gain.
They say his knee went down at the 34, a gain of 11. First down, Cassville. The Wildcat first down brought to you by Superior Metal. They're first in metal roofing. Look them up on Facebook or YouTube and request a free quote. Twin receivers out wide to the left this time. Split backfield, Bryan and Thompson behind Stearns. He's rolling, looking to throw underneath and trying to hit Roark, and a sliding reception made by Colton Roark for a short gain. He slides down at the 33 for a pickup of 1.
Yeah, Stearns would like to have that one back if he could put a little more. That's a tough throw, rolling to your left and trying to throw back across the body. Roark made a nice sliding catch, but if he's able to catch that upright, he's probably getting the corner there and more than likely getting a first down.
Roark, an all-conference receiver a year ago for Cassville. Second down and 9 facing the Wildcats. We're down to 8:20 left to go, and well, we talked about it in the keys to victory, controlling the football, and right now Cassville's doing that. They got a nice drive started. Let's see what they can do here as they try to finish it off. Low snap picked up. Bryan gets the ball down to the 31-yard line, maybe the 30. We'll see where they spot it. It's a short gain of only 2 or 3 yards, and they do put the nose of the football at the 30 for a gain of 3, but it's going to bring up 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, just a direct snap that time to Bryan. Trying to be patient, find a little seam along that offensive line.
Well, Cassville successful on their first 3rd down conversion try of the night. This one a little longer, though, as they have to get all the way down to the Seneca 25-yard line to pick up the first down. Moore splits out wide to the right this time. Stearns from the shotgun, steps up in the pocket, goes down the middle, double team coverage on Roark in the back of the end zone. Did he catch it and stay in bounds?
Wow.
Yes, he did. Touchdown, Cassville.
Between 2 defenders, Stearns drops it in, but how about the concentration by Colton Roark right there? All kinds of contact between the defenders, rips a ball out of the sky. Huge play right there to start this Wildcat football season.
A 30-yard touchdown strike. Jaron Stearns to Colton Roark right down the middle of the field between 2 Seneca defenders. He caught the football in the back of the end zone and kept his feet in bounds, and Cassville's on the board. 6-0 Wildcats, and now Roark will come in to attempt the point after. The kick is on the way. It's a low kick, but it's through the uprights out of the hold of Andon Gautney, and Cassville, with 7:28 left to go in the first quarter, leads it 7-0 over Seneca.
Wildcats patiently working their way down the field. Then they decide to go up top on their first real 3rd and long play. And that was a great effort by Roark right there. Double covered in the secondary, right down the middle of the field towards the back of the end zone. Stearns had the arm strength to get it back there and put it out there where Roark had a chance. And 6 arms go up, 2 of them come down with the ball, and those were Colton Roark's.
Yeah, a really well-placed pass by Stearns, because where it was thrown at the back line of the end zone, it's either my guy's going to catch it or it's going to go out of bounds. And even if Seneca would have been able to get a hand on it, knock it down, that was the only hope they had. And Roark was able, we've seen him so many times go up in between defenders, against defenders, and able to come away with the football, and he did right there. So Cassville, the touchdown brought to you by Willis Insurance for auto, home, health, life, and commercial insurance. See the folks at Willis Insurance on the square in Cassville and in the Bridgeway Plaza in Shell Knob. Wildcat Extra Point brought to you by Berry Electric Cooperative and Gobeck. Internet speed in Berry County is spelled Gobeck. Now the Wildcat kickoff, as it is Noah Driscoll, junior kicker, angles it down the left side. Wildcat kickoff brought to you by Lane Stubblefield Realtor with Reese Nichols. From one Wildcat to another, they want to be your real estate agents. Check them out and see what they have to offer at lane.reesenichols.com. Seneca's going to get the football just outside their own 25-yard line to start their first drive of the night.
It's hard to tell a lot from a jamboree, but the Indian offense looked pretty good in their jamboree.
Brody Probert from the shotgun takes the snap around the right end, breaks one tackle, breaks another's got the first down, powers his way across the 35, finally knocked down all the way out near the 40-yard line. Big gain on first down for the quarterback for the Indians.
Yeah, Probert playing quarterback, but he's another running back there. He can take the football. He's big, strong, athletic, works his way around the right side to the Seneca sideline. First down.
It's a gain of 16 as he takes it out to the 42. First and 10, Indians. They've got trip receivers split wide to the left. Probert again from the shotgun with Roman Miller off his right hip. He hands the ball to Miller. Miller, an all-conference linebacker a year ago, but also an outstanding running back. He's not real tall, but he is powerfully built, and he pushes in behind the line, takes it out to the 46, and picks up 4 yards.
Yeah, Miller, 5'10", about 205, 210 pounds. So strong. You can tell the lower body, thick legs, hard to bring down.
Drew Sherwood and Blaze Graham come out wide to the left for the Indians. Cassville with a 4-man front. Probert calls an audible. Tried to get Cassville to jump. Didn't get him to do it. Now he hands off to Miller. Nice cutback at the line of scrimmage. Breaks a tackle at the 50. Powers his way through a couple of defenders all the way down to the Cassville 36-yard line and picks up another first down.
Yeah, tough run right there. Broke a couple of arm tackles right at the line of scrimmage. Brought down in the secondary by Roark. Strong run. And you see he runs with good vision as well.
18 yards on the gain from Roman Miller, and it's first and 10 Seneca at the Cassville 36. Trying to answer the Cassville Wildcats' opening scoring drive of the night. Cassville with a 7-0 lead here halfway through the opening quarter, but Seneca on the move. Probert fakes the handoff to Miller this time, keeps it himself. A big gap up the middle, and he's got another first down all the way down to the Wildcat 25.
And a flag at the tail end of the play. We'll see what this is.
The flag is thrown a couple of yards downfield from where Probert ended up. And it's going to be a personal foul against Cassville on a late hit, so that's just going to add some yardage on to the carry. Probert taking it to the 25, pickup of 11. And then a big penalty is going to move it half the distance to the goal, and they'll place it down at about the 13-yard line.
Yeah, those hurt. Those hurt. Big runs and penalties tacked on to the end of them. Those hurt. And the Indians continue to march down the field.
So first and 10 for Seneca at the Cassville 13. They overload the right side with 3 receivers. Roman Miller off the right hip of Probert. Now they bring a man in motion that direction, and they give the ball to him, and he breaks the tackle behind the line of scrimmage. It was a nice job by the Cassville defense to get some penetration there, but Hunter Haynes is able to slide off of that defender, take it around the right end, and pick up positive yardage down inside the 10. Looks like he's run out of bounds at the 7.
Yeah, Haynes on the sweep. Defensive end for the Wildcats. Sky Yang got in the backfield, was the first man to him. He was able to shake out of that tackle, get to the Seneca sideline for a nice gain.
So 2nd and 4. They give the ball to Miller, a big hole over right tackle, trying to drive towards the end zone, and a late signal is now touchdown Seneca. Roman Miller with second effort. It looked like he was stopped at the 1, but he kept his legs underneath him and pushed forward and broke the plane of the goal line for the score.
Yeah, a couple Wildcat defenders met him there, but he just got low and used that lower body and powered his way across the goal line. And the Indians answer right back.
So Seneca will try to tie it up. Sherwood nearly had his kick blocked, but it is up and good. And with 5:11 left to go in the first quarter, it's 7-7, all knotted up between the Wildcats and the Indians. Well, Cassville had an 8-play, 65-yard drive that took 4.5 minutes off the clock. Seneca answers with a 6-play, 74-yard drive that just took a little over 2 minutes off the clock, and we're tied at 7.
Yep, squared back up. Butterflies should be gone now for both of these teams. They can settle in and play football. We'll see what this Wildcat offense can do in this series.
Again, tonight's first quarter brought to you by Michaels Hardware. Let Michaels in Cassville quarterback your project with the right tools and supplies for the job. Michaels, friendly folks, serious hardware. And with the weather the way it is tonight, it makes you start thinking about fall temps. And it won't be long once you get into September, which arrives next week. You can start checking in at Michael's to see about your fall mums and the fall decorating items as well.
Well, these mornings, Sammy, have been so nice and cool, and starting to see some leaves actually fall, and have to start thinking about dealing with some of that too. But these nice, cool mornings, they're hard to beat.
Camden Beebe joins Mason Bryan back deep to return the kick of Drew Sherwood now as he tees it up at his own 40-yard line. 7-7 our score, a little over halfway through the opening quarter. Sherwood drives this one down the middle of the field, angled towards Beebe. Drops it, picks it back up, back at the 12. Brings it across the 15, gets a block. He's across the 20, out across the 30, cut back at the 40, takes it all the way out to the 45-yard line. Nice return from Camden Beebe after he bobbled the kick to start, had a return of nearly 35 yards in Cassville with great starting field position.
Yeah, Beebe, a junior. He's got good speed. He's a track kid and showed some of that speed right there. Big return.
About a 33-yard return for Beebe. First and 10 Cassville at their own 45. First drive started at their own 35, and they took it in and scored. So they get 10 more yards on this starting field position. Receivers split right and left. Up to the line of scrimmage comes Stearns. He's got a wishbone formation behind him. Hands it off to Colton Roark. Sidesteps the defender. Now the ball may have come loose, or did it? Nope. Roark hangs on to it. There was a scramble right at the line of scrimmage. Thought the ball may have popped out for a moment, but no gain on the play. Second down and 10.
Trying to go off left tackle right there. Nice job of that defensive front of the Indians. No room to work.
Second down and 10, Wildcats at their own 45. Play clock down to 10 seconds. They'll have to hurry and get up to the line of scrimmage. Roark comes split out wide to the right. Clock down to 3 seconds. They're really going to have to hurry. Clock down to 1 second when the snap took place. Stearns out of the pocket, throws out in the flat. It's caught at the Seneca 45-yard line. Down the sidelines goes the receiver, Mace Bredesen, and he picks up a Cassville first down all the way down inside the Seneca 30.
Yeah, sophomore, nice athlete, good speed. Bredesen making that catch on the out route over near the Seneca sideline rather than just taking it on out of bounds, put his foot in the ground down the sideline he went. Nice throw by Stearns and a good catch as Bredesen had to reach way out for the football. Good catch and able to turn it upfield for a big gain.
28 yards on the reception and a first down for Cassville. First and 10 at the Seneca 25. Flag comes out at the snap of the football. And Stearns is brought down right at the line of scrimmage. That Wildcat first down, by the way, brought to you by Superior Metal. They're first in custom ag buildings. Find them on Facebook or YouTube and call for a free quote. And the flag's going to go against Cassville.
I think that was Mason Bryan on the carry right there, Sammy.
Oh, it was Bryan, excuse me. Yep. Got to get the new ball carrier there for Cassville lined out. And they move it back to the 32, so a 5-yard penalty against Cassville. And it'll bring up first and 15. Stearns this time gives the inside handoff to Roark. Nice job at the line of scrimmage, jumping around a defender, and he rumbles his way down to the 20-yard line. Gains about 12 yards, and it'll make a manageable second down and short.
Just the ability, as he went around the right edge, a tackler coming in towards his legs, just his ability to maintain his balance, avoid that contact, and then lower the shoulder and finish that run very physically. Nice play there by Roark.
Bredesen and Roark go wide to the left this time. Second down and 3 for Cassville. Bryan and Thompson in the backfield. They give it to Mason Bryan. He's got the first down, lowers the shoulders, drives through a defender, and takes it inside the 15-yard line.
Power run, showed some balance as he lowered the shoulder, got down there with the tackler, was able to stay on his feet, spin out of that, and pick up a few more yards. The Indians the Seneca Indians are good tacklers. They're going to go low. They're going to try to get into your legs every time. These Wildcat runners, as we saw Mason Bryan right there, they've got to get those pads down there with the Indians and fight their way through that.
Another Wildcat first down, brought to you by Superior Metal. Their first in custom ag buildings. Call for a free quote, 888-364-9527. First and 10, Cassville at the Seneca 13-yard line after a pickup of 7 for Bryan. This time Tristan Thompson gets the call. He's pushing forward, powers his way down to the 10 before he stood up and driven back. They're going to give him progress actually inside the 10 to the 9 after a gain of 4.
Yeah, Thompson, another physical runner, linebacker for this football team.
Well, that's the thing. Thompson got started his career as a linebacker. Bryan started his high school career as a linebacker, and you're seeing some of that linebacker mentality with their ball carry.
They're not shying away from that contact for sure.
So second down and 6 from the 9. 2 minutes left to go in the opening quarter. Tie game at 7. Stearns from the shotgun this time. Unbalanced left. They give on the motion to Roark, and Roark is swarmed under. A flag thrown back at the 10-yard line, and a holding call is going to go against Cassville. It was a short gain of only about 2 yards, but the flag thrown behind the play, so that'll not only negate the couple of yards that Roark picked up, but it'll move the ball back close to the 20-yard line.
Yeah, the holding calls behind the action will just drive you crazy because what's the point? And so that's going to cost the Wildcats a few more yards there.
It'll take it back between the 19 and 20, and it'll bring up second down and 14. Penalties have hurt Cassville already here early on. They've been able to overcome one of them at one point. We'll see what they can do after this holding penalty moves them back out close to the 20-yard line. Second down and long. Travis Moore goes wide to the left. Unbalanced to the right. They fake the handoff to Thompson. Stearns under pressure, and he's going to be hit and dropped. Seneca came with all kinds of pressure. Cassville maybe get helped out by a face mask as Roman Miller got up around the headgear when he brought him down.
Big time.
He's dropped back at the 30 for a loss of 11, but we got 3 flags on the field. This may be our first penalty against Seneca. And the officials talking it over right now. Miller swatted at Stearns trying to bat down the attempted pass, and then his hand went right across the face mask and kind of spun Stearns around. And it is a face mask penalty against Seneca, but it's only going to be the 5-yard, not the 15-yard personal foul. Penalty against the Indians, brought to you by the Rib Steakhouse. They're the area's go-to for steaks, barbecue, fish, chicken, and more. They're open Wednesday through Saturday, 3 to 9, with specials every night at the Rib.
That's not a good call, and I'll tell you why. Anytime a player grabs a face mask and it turns the head of the runner, that is not a 5-yard face mask. That is not a good call.
So it takes the ball back to the 14-yard line, and it'll be second down and 11 for Cassville. We're down to 1:28 left to go in the opening quarter. 7-7 ball game. So Cassville got hit with a holding penalty. Now Seneca with a face mask penalty. And it's second and 11 from just inside the 15 for the Wildcats. Stearns under center, gives the ball to Bryan. Bryan hit, spins off contact. Roman Miller then finally brings down Mason Bryan at the, looks like, 12-yard line for a pickup of 2. So third down and 9 facing Cassville. 2 for 2 on third down conversions so far. Got a big one coming here. They're going to have to snap the football with about 20 seconds difference between the play clock and the game clock. Bredesen goes way out wide to the left. Cassville back with 3 men in the backfield behind Stearns. They look underneath on the slant, and a nice job by Probert reading that slant. Bats down the pass. It's incomplete, and it'll bring up fourth down.
Timing right there was just not in sync between quarterback and wide receiver. Stearns had to pump fake. He's wanting to put his foot in the ground and turn and throw on that slant. And when the pump fake allowed that linebacker to get out there and get his hand on the ball.
So 4th and 9. The ball at the 12, and right now Cassville's lining up to go for it. We'll see if they are going to attempt this 4th down or whether they are going to try to get Seneca to jump. Seneca with the 4-man front. They're going for it. Stearns takes the snap. Lob to the back of the end zone. We got one-on-one coverage, and up in the air and coming down with the football for Seneca is Blaze Graham. And it will be a turnover, and the Indians will get the touchback and start at their own 20.
Stearns looking for Roark at that back pylon, just a jump ball situation, and the Indians come down with this one.
So Seneca takes over at their own 20 with 20 seconds left to play here in the first quarter. Probert going to run it himself out across the 25, around the right end, across the 30, across the 40, and finally run out of bounds out near the 45-yard line. Big gain on first down for Brody Probert, but another flag, and we've got a holding penalty against the Indians. Going to bring this one back. He is able to pick up about 8 yards on the carry, but the rest of that run for Probert is all going to be brought back by the holding penalty against the Indians. That penalty against Seneca, once again, brought to you by the Rib Steakhouse. They're open Wednesday through Saturday, 3 to 9. Specials every night at the Rib.
Yeah, that one, that hurts right there. Probert had a huge hole to run through, and, well, the holding penalty came out, so that may have been why. But once again, the Indians having some success in that run game.
So it moves it back into the 18-yard line. Now Roman Miller gets the call. He takes it around the right end. That may be the final play of the opening quarter. Dives out across the 25. We'll see where they spot him down. Looks like they're going to put it down at the 28-yard line for a pickup of about 10 yards for Miller, and that will be the final play of quarter number 1. Again, tonight's first quarter brought to you by Michael's Hardware in Cassville. They'll give you your to-do list, a game plan that's sure to be a winner. Michael's, friendly folks, serious hardware. We head on to quarter number 2. Cassville and Seneca all knotted up at 7 points apiece. We'll take a break, be back. You're listening to Wildcat Football here on the Talon Network. Sammy Clapper and Jeremy Marple back with you in Cassville. We move on to the second quarter. The Wildcats and the Indians tied at 7. Tonight's second quarter is brought to you by Roark Diesel. Since 2006, they've been providing the area with a huge selection of diesel performance products. Give them a call at 847-6560 or find them online, roarkdiesel.com. Man comes in motion, and there was some movement on the Seneca side of the football, so another penalty against the Indians. And that penalty drawn by the Indians, brought to you by the Rib Steakhouse. They're the area's go-to for the best steaks, barbecue, fish, chicken, and more. Open Wednesday through Saturday, 3 to 9. Specials every night at the Rib. Ball back to the 23-yard line. Seneca right now going in the wrong direction with these penalties. Just underway here in quarter number 2, 7-7 ball game. Brody Probert wanted to hand it off to Miller, and he kind of thought Probert was going to do something else. He ends up pitching it to Miller, and what do you know? Roman Miller makes something out of nothing as he rumbles all the way out to the 35-yard line and picks up a first down.
Good run around that left edge. Miller able to kind of do a little jump stop, let a defender go by, and downfield for the first down he went.
It's a gain of 14 yards. Miller already with 53 yards rushing on 5 carries here in the first half. And it looked like there was a little confusion there for a while. Probert was reached out like he was going to hand it to him, and Probert thought he was going to pitch it to him, and then it's like they still ended up getting positive yardage. Probert this time looked like he wanted to throw. Instead, tucks it under and runs, and Cassville's defense does a nice job collapsing on him at the 39-yard line after a gain of 2.
Really nice play there by Ricky Norris. Probert on the design quarterback draw out of the shotgun formation. Norris was engaged with his blocker. As Probert came by, Norris was able to shed the block, get into the legs of Probert, and bring him down.
Sherwood wide to the left. Haynes wide to the right. Probert from the shotgun gives it off to Roman Miller. Lets the lineman make a lane for him, and he quickly races out to the 45-yard line, dives across the 45. Looks like they're going to give him the 46. So it's a gain of 7, and it'll bring up third down and about a yard and a half. First third down conversion attempt for the Indians tonight. Probert, and we got a flag.
A little more movement up front by that Indian offensive line.
Yeah, and that time it looked like the center, the center maybe didn't snap the ball on the right count or something. It looked like there was some movement, and then the ball popped out.
Right.
So whatever the case, another penalty against the Indians, brought to you by the Rib Steakhouse. The Rib has specials every night. They're open Wednesday through Saturday, 3 to 9, and the ball moved back to the 41.
Well, that's a big penalty right there. Takes a third and short to a third and a little bit longer here, a little more challenging.
Third and nearly 7 to go now for the Indians. Probert pitches the ball to Roman Miller on the short side of the field, out across the 50, dives ahead and picks up the first down.
Little toss sweep to the short side of the field, just heading right over there near that Seneca sideline. Outside of the penalty, the holding and the illegal shift, the Seneca offensive line, their blocking schemes, they block up front. These runs, they block them so well. And these runners, they're just getting ahead of steam before there's any contact.
Yeah, Roman Miller right now is averaging about 10 yards a carry, and when you're getting that kind of output from your running back, those guys up front are definitely doing something right. Probert this time fakes the handoff to Miller, going to keep it himself, and he's got big yardage around the left end inside the Cassville 40. Finally tripped up down near the 35-yard line. Another first down for the Indians.
Yeah, the Wildcat defensive line is going to have to make some adjustments because they're just getting washed out, and these runners are going right around them.
It's a gain of 12 for Probert. He's got 49 yards on 5 carries, so he's right there averaging 10 yards a run as well. First and 10 Indians at the Cassville 36. We're down to 9:15 left to go in the first half, tied at 7. Here comes Roman Miller. Slips a tackle at the 30-yard line, bound the sidelines, breaks another one, keeps himself in bound, and takes it in for the score. Boy, how he was able to stay in bounds over there, and now they say he didn't. I was going to say there's an official throwing a beanbag down over there at about the 20. Well, it looks like inside the 20 to about the 18. He got hit pretty good over there along the sidelines and kind of had his legs knocked out from underneath him, but he never went all the way down, and they say he went out of bounds right there. So no touchdown, but another first down for the Indians.
Yes, able to stay on his feet. And, again, that's just good balance and strength in that lower body.
Excuse me. A gain of 18 yards for Miller. Probert now sidesteps the defender and moves it right up the middle. A little zigzag run there from Brody Probert. And he'll take it inside the 15 down to the 12 as he is able to gain about 6 yards. So second down and 4 for the Indians, looking for their first lead of the night. Cassville scored first. The Indians tied it at 7. And now Seneca driving, and Roman Miller gets hit behind the line of scrimmage, and good job there by the Cassville defense. They grabbed a hold of a handful of jersey and held on.
Yeah, really nice play. Zach Myers, defensive end over there, able to come crashing down and get a hold of Miller to bring him down. Nice play.
That's the first time since his first carry of the night that he's been held to less than 5 yards on a run, and they drop him for no gain, and it'll bring up third down. Seneca 1 for 1 on third down conversion tries, facing 3rd and 3. Low snap. Probert wanted to hand it off. Nobody there. He takes it himself and goes down to the 5-yard line and picks up a first down. It'll be 1st and goal Indians.
Wildcat defense looking a little bit winded right there, as the Indians have just mauled their way down the field here.
That was the 13th play of the drive, 14th play upcoming here on 1st and goal from the 5. 7.5 left to go. Seneca's held the ball for nearly 5 minutes here in the second quarter. Handoff goes to Miller, starts left, cuts back right, keeps his feet underneath him, and then is stood up and dropped at the 4-yard line for a gain of only 1.
Nice job there by BB, and also it looked like, out of the secondary, Chance Freed coming down from that safety position to help out BB on the tackle.
So it'll be 2nd down and goal from just inside the 4-yard line for the Indians. Sherwood goes left, Haynes goes right. Roman Miller in the backfield, along with Kai Adams. He is yet to carry the ball tonight. Probert going to keep it himself, breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage, and takes it in for the touchdown.
Just a long time-consuming drive right there by the Indians, working their way down the field, ending in pay dirt.
"15 plays, 80 yards. Took a little over 5 minutes off the clock. And Seneca's on top for the first time tonight, 13-7, pending the extra point try. Sherwood's kick is up, and it is good. So 6:50 left in the first half. Indians lead 14-0 over the Cassville Wildcats. Again, tonight's second quarter brought to you by Roark Diesel. They're located just north of Cassville on Highway 37. They're the leader in the region for diesel performance. If your engine's not running just right, take it to Roark Diesel. They specialize in diesel performance.
Well, 6 minutes and just under 7 minutes until halftime here. Wildcats' previous drive was a good one, stalled out with a couple of penalties late in the drive, giving the ball back to the Indians. They worked their way, extended drive, 15 plays into the end zone and take the lead.
Well, if you're listening or watching the game tonight on your Apple or Google phone apps, those are courtesy of Phone Funeral Home. Phone Funeral Home, let them lighten your load as they are bringing you the Apple and Google phone apps from Talon Media. So Drew Sherwood tees it up at his own 40. We've got Roark back there once again for Cassville, and Camden Beebe. They await the kick back at their own 15. Sherwood, a short kick, angles it away, bounces at the 20. Scooped up at the 15 by Beebe. Had a nice return last time, and here he comes again. He's across the 40, breaks a tackle at the 45, and takes it out to the 50-yard line. Another great return by Camden Beebe.
Yeah, really nice job. Special teams are so important in this game. Beebe, 2 returns in a row, big returns for this football team, giving the offense great opportunity here.
They spot him down at the Seneca 49-yard line. So a little over a 30-yard return the first time for Beebe. Same thing again on that one. A return of about 31 yards, and it's 1st and 10 Cassville in Seneca territory. Wildcats twin receivers to the right, lone man out to the left is Moore. They're running the ball on first down, and the Seneca defense meets Handon Gautney, new ball carrier for Cassville, at the 47-yard line and drops him for a gain of 2.
Wildcats trying to go right at the teeth of this Indian defense. Gautney lowering the shoulder, taking on that contact.
Mace Bredesen brings the play in from the sideline. Play clock down to 15. 6 minutes left to go before halftime. 14-7 Seneca with the lead. Cassville facing 2nd down and 8. Bredesen and Moore, your receivers right now. They go with the Wildcat formation. Snap to Stearns, gives it off into the hands of Beebe, and Beebe this time is wrapped up and dropped behind the line of scrimmage. Good pursuit by the Seneca defense. It'll be a loss of 2 back to the 49.
Beebe trying to work his way around the left edge, just couldn't quite get an extra step on Probert. Probert able to get a handful of that jersey and bring him down.
So Cassville back where they started from at the Seneca 49-yard line, facing 3rd and 10. Wildcats are 2 for 3 on third down conversion tries here in the first half. Trailing by 7. Play clock down to 6. Stearns fakes the handoff, looks to go up top. Launches it to Roark. Roark one-on-one coverage. The safety coming over trying to help. And Blaze Graham is able to get a hand in there and knock it away incomplete.
Trying to hit Roark on the wheel route down the Wildcat sideline. Once again, double coverage on Roark. Jump ball situation, just not quite able to come down with it there. Good play, as you said, by Graham in the secondary.
So 4th and 10 Cassville at the Seneca 49-yard line, and the Wildcats are going to be forced to punt for the first time tonight. Colton Roark in to kick it away, and it will be Hunter Haynes dropping back deep for the Indians. Going to have to hurry. Play clock down to 4. Had a little late personnel problem there. Cassville gets the snap. Roark kicks it off the right side, bounces at the 25, takes a Wildcat roll down inside the 20, still rolling inside the 10. As that thing got 20 yards after it hit the ground, it's going to go dead all the way down inside the 10-yard line, as we'll see where they spot it at. But right now, the guy's standing back there about the 6 or 7-yard line.
Well, it looks like there may be a sideline warning against the Indians. Roark able to angle that punt towards the opposite hash. And as the ball came down, you could tell by the angle it was going to get a nice hop, and it sure did. Nice punt. Kind of flipped the field for the Wildcats right there.
Ends up being a 42-yard kick. No return. Seneca takes over at their own 7. Still 4:50 left to go before halftime. The Indians leading 14-7. Brody Probert pitches the ball to Roman Miller. He'll take it to the short side of the field. Cassville defense comes up to meet him, gets into the legs of Miller, and drops him for a gain of about 5 or 6 yards. Looks like they're going to put him down at the 13 for a gain of 6. And it'll bring up second down and a long 4.
Well, I know it's early in this football game, 4.5 minutes to go until halftime, but this is a hugely important defensive series for the Wildcats right here.
Probert gives it to Miller again, this time straight up the middle, and Roman Miller across the 15 out to the 17. And it'll bring up third and very short.
Big play right here. Again, the Indians deferred their option to the second half, so they'll get the football coming out after halftime. That's why this drive is so important. You got to keep them off the scoreboard here.
He needed about 4.5. He got 4, so it's third down and less than a yard. High snap. Probert brings it down, keeps it from going over his head, and he's got the first down. Unbelievable.
Wow.
Looked like it was going to be a disastrous play for the Indians as the snap nearly got over Probert's head, but he got a finger on it, kept it in front of him, and picks up a first down.
And still had time to get around that edge. They're just right up front there. They're doing a good job.
They spot him down at the 22 after a gain of 5. First and 10 Indians. We're down to 3:20 left to go in the half. Seneca with a 7-point lead. They go trips to the right, and they send a receiver out wide to the left. Probert and Miller all alone in the backfield. Now Probert looking to throw down the middle of the field. He's got Haynes behind the defense, and he drops the football. Wow. Hunter Haynes was thinking touchdown, and he just forgot to catch the football as Brody Probert put it right in his hands, and he couldn't make the connection.
Haynes had gotten a step and a half on Beebe there and just dropped the football. Great throw by Probert right down the middle of the football field. Wow. Wildcats dodge one there.
So second down and 10, Seneca. They go with the same formation. 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Roman Miller off the left hip of Probert in the backfield. This time they fake the handoff. Probert going to run. He's across the 25 and is spun down short of the 30. They place it down at the 27 after a gain of 5, and it'll bring up 3rd and 5.
Once again, big third down play right here for this Wildcat defense. 2.5 minutes until halftime.
Seneca perfect on third down conversion so far here early on. Probert going to keep it himself. Goes to the short side up the Seneca sidelines. Jumps over a defender and a would-be blocker over there, and looks like he's got a first down.
Probert out of the shotgun, just taking that snap. And kind of like student body left right there. Everybody's going around the left edge. Probert just gets in behind him, gets what he needs for the first down, and keeping this drive alive.
That's already the 10th first down for the Indians here in the first half. We're down to 2:20 left to go before halftime. 1st and 10 Indians just out across their own 35-yard line. Started back at their own 7. Methodically working their way down the field, but time will start to become a factor here shortly. Probert this time dumps it off underneath to a motion man, makes the catch behind the line of scrimmage, and then tiptoes his way all the way out to the 18-yard line. I think that was Sherwood, or was it? No, it was Jagger Wilson. So Wilson makes his first catch of the night and takes it out to the 45 for a gain of 10, and it'll bring up 2nd down and less than a yard. First pass completion of the night for Brody Probert. Fakes it to Miller, looking deep. They got Haynes again down the seam, and this time the defender was there. Haynes trying to make an acrobatic catch, but could not do so, and it'll bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, nice play by BB right there. Good positioning, able to get his hand up at the last second to knock that ball away.
So here we go, another 3rd down situation facing the Indians with 1:39 left to go before halftime. Seneca on top by 7. They send twin receivers out wide to the left. Adams and Miller set up in the backfield to the left of Probert. Now the ball is snapped when Probert wasn't ready for it. He was looking to the sidelines. I think they were trying to make a change, and the center has done that more than once tonight. Snapped the football when I don't think the rest of the Seneca offense was ready, and it's another penalty, and it'll move them back. That penalty against the Indians brought to you by the Rib Steakhouse. They're the area's go-to for steaks, barbecue, fish, chicken, and more. Specials every night at the Rib.
As we work our way towards 1.5 minutes until halftime.
So again, the 3rd and 1, actually less than 1, is turned into a 3rd and long. They overload the short side of the field. Probert looks that direction, now reverses, a little pitch, and a great job by the Cassville defense on Roman Miller, as that was out there Zach Myers making another big play for the Cassville D.
Myers staying at home on that screen, and just a really nice job of sniffing that out and being right there to bring him down. 4th down, clock continuing to run.
So Seneca facing 4th and about 6 to go, long 6 at their own 40. Right now they're checking over at the sidelines. And they may be going to let the play clock run down and then call a timeout, as about half of their personnel is over gathered around Coach Hilburn. And that is what they're going to do. That is one thing that we have not had tonight. And I thought during the first 3 weeks it was mandatory. Even if we are having a beautiful night like we are tonight, we did not have the water break in the first half at all.
Right.
And I know once you get past 3 weeks, it used to be then it was going to be at the official's discretion. If the hot, humid weather continued on into the middle part of the season, they could still do the water breaks. But I was under the impression that the first 3 weeks it was a rule no matter what, unless that was something changed, because we have not had that tonight.
No, and maybe they just, it's officials' discretion to start the season now. I don't know.
Well, the timeout on the field brought to you by Security Bank of Southwest Missouri. Take time out to look at Security Bank, member FDIC. We can't ask Todd anymore. He's been retired from officiating so long. They've changed rules so many times since he was wearing the black and white stripes. So Seneca forced to punt for the first time tonight. Snaps a little low.
Whew.
And a good punt by Jagger Wilson. It drives Mason Bryant all the way back to his own 20. Takes a big lick at the 30, hangs on to the football and spins off contact and drives his way out to about the 32, maybe the 33. That forced punt brought to you by Four State Dental Care. They're building beautiful smiles in Southwest Missouri with 3 locations to serve you. In-house insurance and benefit plans ensures your smile will be beautiful at an affordable price at Four State Dental Care. Going to put the ball down at the Cassville 33-yard line with 36 seconds left to go here in the half. So Seneca had 11 plays and took over 4 minutes off the clock, but had to punt for the first time tonight. Now it's Wildcat football. Twin receivers out wide to the right. They give the ball to Andon Gottney. Gottney hit just short of the 35. And now we got a lineman a little slow getting up. Appears to be all right, though. May got just a little twisted. A gain of 1 to the 34 for Gottney.
Yeah, Ricky Norris playing that defensive tackle. He got hobbled up earlier in the quarter. Came off for a couple of plays. Now he's back out there. He just got rolled up on as an offensive lineman. So
and Cassville's not going to snap the football again, and we are going to head to halftime. Seneca leads Cassville 14-7 here at the break as both teams head to the locker room. We will take a timeout as well. Come back with the halftime show. You're listening to Big 8 Conference Football here on the Talon Network. Sammy Clapper and Jeremy Marple back with you here at Cassville. We are at halftime. The Seneca Indians leading the Cassville Wildcats by a score of 14-7. The score of any athletic event is generally forgotten over time, but the actions of players, coaches, and spectators leave lasting impressions. Next time you attend a high school game, think of how history will remember you. Choose good sportsmanship and help rekindle the spirit of citizenship. Remember, the lessons you teach today will help develop better citizens in our communities for tomorrow. This sportsmanship reminder brought to you by Access Family Care, with locations in Cassville, Neosho, Aurora, Mount Vernon, and Joplin. Tonight's broadcast also brought to you in part by MetaPlansPlus.com. Your local trusted licensed insurance agent for Medicare Health Insurance Plans is Eric Seifert. All right, looking at the scoring summary from the first half, Cassville got on the board first as the Wildcats took the opening drive, went 8 plays, 65 yards, took 4.5 minutes off the clock, and it was capped off by a 30-yard pass from Jaron Stearns to Colton Roark. The extra point by Roark made the Wildcats 7-0 leaders over the Seneca Indians. But Seneca responded as they would take the football 15 plays, 80 yards, took over 5 minutes off the clock, and punched it in on a 7-yard run by Roman Miller with 5:11 left to go in the first quarter. Drew Sherwood added the extra point, and it was 7-7. Then with 6:50 left to go in the first half, Seneca would take their first lead of the night on a 4-yard run by Brody Probert. It was a 6-play, 74-yard drive as the Indians would take the lead 14-7 after the PAT by Sherwood, and that's where we stand here at halftime. Cassville scoring on their first possession, but since then they've taken it inside the 15 but turned it over and then had to punt. Seneca has also had to punt once here in the first half, but the Indians scored on their first 2 possessions of the night, and that second one to take the lead, as we said, took over 5 minutes off the clock, and they ground out 15 plays and 80 yards before they punched it in. So 14-7. Seneca with the lead over Cassville here at halftime, as the Cassville Marching Band entertaining a big crowd here for the 2025 season opener. And the home opener for Cassville here taking on the Indians. We're going to step aside, let you continue to hear from our sponsors of tonight's broadcast. Be back with more of the halftime show. We've got the first half stats to go over. We've also got the Jimmy Mitchell Motors scoreboard to go over as well. Other teams around the Big 8 and around the area playing here in week number 1. But for now, a quick break. Back with more. You're listening to Big 8 Football here on the Talon Network. Back in Cassville, we are at halftime. The Seneca Indians lead the Cassville Wildcats 14-7 here at the break. Checking some other scores around the area here on week number 1 of the high school football season. It's time for the Jimmy Mitchell Motors scoreboard. Jimmy Mitchell Motors, 555 South Elliott in Aurora. Find out more. They have a great selection of new and used vehicles by going to jimmymitchell.com. That's Jimmy, MICHEL.com. Jimmy Mitchell Motors bringing you the area scoreboard. Around the Big 8, other games going on this evening. The Bell Bowl over in Aurora. They're at Kelly Field. Late in the first half, Mount Vernon leads Aurora 14-7. Just up Highway 37 in Monette, the Cubs taking on Nevada. And Nevada jumped out to an early 23-0 lead at the end of the first quarter. They lead 36-6 late in the first half over the Cubs. Lamar at home leading McDonald County 20-13. That game also late in the first half. We got a score from East Newton. The Patriots hosting Springfield Catholic, and the Irish lead the Patriots 17-6. First quarter score at Marionville. The Comets playing on that brand new turf over there at Bill Reedus Field. They lead Stockton 24-14. And at Houston, Pierce City had to make the long trip over to South Central Missouri. And late in the first half, Houston leads Pierce City 14-13. Again, the Jimmy Mitchell Motors scoreboard brought to you by Jimmy Mitchell Motors, South Elliott Avenue in Aurora, Missouri.
Any of those scores surprise you so far?
Well, we knew the Bell Bowl would be a battle. Lamar and McDonald County is a little closer than I thought, being late in the first half.
How about this one?
I thought Monette would be able to put a few more points on the board. Nevada's a good football team, but the Cubs scored a lot of points last year, and they got a lot of kids back from that team that scored so many points a year ago. Springfield Catholic's been down for so long. To see them leading, it's kind of a surprise, but the Patriots lost so much to graduation.
Yep, that's
right. They lost a lot of their motors from a year ago.
Right.
As that group, that senior class, it wasn't a real big senior class, but boy, those guys were the heart and soul and the blood of athletics over there at East Newton, and they lost those guys to graduation, so they're having to find somebody new to fill in those roles.
Well, I'm sure they all have little brothers or cousins or somebody.
I know Braxton Wolf's got a little brother. He's got a little brother. So
that's usually the case over there.
And Marionville Stockton, that was a heck of a battle a year ago, and Marionville still have some key pieces back, but they also was hit hard by graduation as well. So that one's a little closer maybe than what I thought.
You know, that Nevada Monette game, the way we saw Monette play offensively last year, if the timing's not great and it's 1, 2, 3 incomplete passes and a punt, they may not have had the ball very long in that game. With Nevada may have just stood up and just ran the ball right at them and ate up most of that first half too.
That is exactly a possibility. So it'll be interesting, and when we get some numbers on that, some stats later on, just to see exactly what's going on in that football game up in Monette this evening.
Mount Vernon and Aurora, I'll be interested to see how that one finishes.
Well, that one ended up, wasn't that a 7-6 game or something like that last year?
But, you know, Aurora, they came in with so many question marks.
They had Creasy back at quarterback, and they had a guy that got to play last year as a freshman because of injuries that is now going to be one of their leading ball carriers. But other than that, they were hit hard by graduation.
And, you know, new coaching turnover and a lot of stuff going on up there. Tom Cox got what looks like a pretty good team on paper over there at Mount Vernon. So I'm going to be interested to see how that one finishes up.
Well, Seneca leads 14-7 here at Cassville. Looking at some of the stats from the first half, the Indians ran 24 times for 189 yards. They completed 2 of 4 passes for 10 yards for a total of 199 in the first 2 quarters. Indians picked up 10 first downs, did not turn the ball over. They were penalized, though, 5 times for 30 yards, and they had to punt once for 40 yards. Cassville, 14 carries for 60 yards. They completed 3 of 6 passes for 59 yards for a total of 119. Wildcats picked up 5 first downs. They had the 1 turnover on the interception in the end zone. Cassville penalized 3 times for 27 yards, and they punted once for 42 yards. Roman Miller, unofficially, 1 yard shy of 100 yards here at halftime on 12 carries and a touchdown. Brody Probert, 84 yards on 11 carries and a touchdown. Jagger Wilson has 1 catch for 10 yards receiving. Cassville led by Mason Bryan, 29 yards on 5 carries. Really had a lot of success in the first couple of drives, but then Seneca started closing in on him. Tristan Thompson, 12 yards on 2 carries. Colton Roark, 17 yards on 3 carries. Roark also had a couple of catches for 31 yards and a touchdown, and Mace Bredesen 1 catch for 28 yards in the first half.
Yeah, the story in this second half for me is going to be this Wildcat defensive line. They have got to make some adjustments. They just cannot continue. And I'm going to throw the linebackers in there as well. They cannot allow the Indians to average 10 yards of rush in this second half. That's just not going to work in their favor. So they've got to close down those running lanes, set that edge, force those backs into their teammates. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Wildcats are able to do defensively in this second half.
Well, early in the season, you usually play the first half with daylight, but now the sun is set. The lights are in full effect here at Wildcat Stadium. Both teams are back out of the locker room getting warmed up to start the second half. We'll take another break and be back with the third quarter. Seneca leads Cassville here at halftime 14-7. You're listening to Big 8 Conference football here on the Talon Network. Sammy Clapper and Jeremy Marple back with you here in Cassville. Todd Speakman alongside, running the camera and the computer for us on CassvilleWebTV.com. Just about ready to start the third quarter. Seneca leading Cassville 14-7 here at the half. And Seneca will be getting the football to start quarter number 3 as they won the toss, deferred their option to the second half. The Wildcats will be kicking off to the Indians. Wildcat kickoff brought to you by Lane Stubblefield and Reese Nichols. From one Wildcat to another, Lane Stubblefield Realtor with Reese Nichols want to be your real estate agents. You can check out all they have to offer at lane.reesenichols.com. Officiating crew on the scene, waiting for the final few minutes to tick off the clock. And I thought they'd already put the 3 minutes on the clock, but now they just reset it for 3 minutes again. So are we going to have to go through another waiting period? Looks like we might. Well, Cassville next week, they head out on the road for the first time in 2025. They'll be down in Anderson taking on the McDonald County Mustangs. McDonald County battling with Lamar, down by only 7 late in the first half, up in Lamar. Mustangs will be the host next Friday night when we join you for Wildcat football. And we talk about it every time we go down there. That has always been a difficult place for Cassville for some reason over the years.
It's always been a difficult place for us over the years.
Well, it's been worse in recent years than it used to be in the years past.
You know, it's usually 500 degrees. Next week, we're looking maybe 73 next Friday, so that'll help.
They're acting like cooler next week than at the end of next week than this week.
Yeah, so I'll take that.
Long-range forecast, you can flip a coin and hope they're right, but
the only press box in the United States that the door to get in the press box is at the 50-yard line. Now, whoever designed that better not still be working down there.
I would think. Yeah, inside square footage, it's one of the bigger press boxes you'll be in, but being able to see out of it, that's a whole other question.
It's amazing. Nonetheless, we're going to go there anyway.
We will be there next Friday night. Hopefully it's not raining. That's the only thing that would throw a wrench into the whole work. So All right, looks like Roman Miller and Hunter Haynes is going to drop back deep for the Indians.
Everybody's on the field with a minute to go on the clock still.
You think they're trying to coerce the officials into starting a little quick?
Yeah, let's blow the whistle.
It's like, let's go.
We're ready to go.
Well, it's crazy how quickly this season has come upon us. The 3 weeks from once official fall sports practices begin to opening night, it seems like it goes by faster every year. And I know the kids preparing and the coaching staff's trying to prepare the kids. Wish they had a little bit more time. And it's crazy. It's only a week when they shortened the season back a few years ago, and state championships aren't until December now when they added that extra round of the playoffs. But that week, I can remember, even back when I was playing eons ago, boy, that month of practice, you're thinking, man, I wish we were playing. I wish we were playing. They only shortened it by a week, but now they're going, man, I wish we had more time to prepare.
Always want more time to prepare. That's right.
Well, it looks like the Wildcats will be having Noah Driscoll out there to kick it away. And as we said, Roman Miller and Hunter Haynes back at their own 15-yard line awaiting the kick. Again, that Wildcat kickoff brought to you by Lane Stubblefield and Reese Nichols Realty. This one driven over the head of Miller, and it will go into the end zone for a touchback. Miller thought he was going to come up on the 20 on that one, and Driscoll got a good leg into that one and put it right over his head.
Yeah, good kick. Sophomore, 155-pound kicker. Nice kick right there.
So 1st and 10 Indians for their first possession of the second half. They lead 14-7 as we start quarter number 3.
We always, for years, have talked about the importance coming out after halftime and taking control. That first drive of the second half a lot of times is a good indicator of things to come.
Seneca goes unbalanced to the right. They've got a lone receiver way out wide to the left, and he comes in motion. That's Graham, and now we got movement again, and boy, the Indians are having difficulty with that tonight. They have had several procedure penalties and motion penalties, and that flag drawn by the Indians, again, brought to you by the Rib Steakhouse. They've got the best steaks, barbecues, fish, chicken, and more, and they're open Wednesday through Saturday, 3 to 9, with specials every night at the Rib.
Well, the Indians keep handing gifts, and the Wildcats are going to have to accept one at some point. Take advantage of these mistakes.
So 1st and 15 now for the Indians, starting back at their own 15-yard line. That's already the 6th flag of the night thrown against Seneca. Probert this time with twin receivers to the left, pitches the ball, and Miller is hit at the line of scrimmage and dropped for a loss, actually. Has a great job slashing in over there, got into the legs of Miller, and that's how you got to take him down. And a couple of yards loss, 2nd down and long.
Yeah, Chance Freed coming up from his safety position, and that's, those are the adjustments we talk about being made at halftime. And Wildcats brought a safety up in the box. Freed made a nice read right there, got into the legs and brought him down. Big play there.
Trip receivers to the right side this time for the Indians, and Probert pitches the ball to Miller. He gets a kick-out block, turns it back at the hash, a flag thrown. Here comes another flag as Miller is brought down at the 15 for a short gain.
And a holding call against the Indians. Wildcats may decline this, bring up a 3rd and very long.
Yeah, because it was a gain of only 2 yards. It's going to bring up 3rd if they decline it, 3rd and about 17 or so.
Yep, they're going to decline that, certainly. 3rd and a long way to go.
So Miller tackled for a 2-yard loss. Now he runs for a 2-yard gain. He's still unofficially a yard shy now of 100 yards on the night, but 3rd down and about 16 to go. Big 3rd down play here early on in the second half. Indians bunch up a bunch of receivers over here on the short side of the field. Probert looking that way. Now he's going to run the opposite direction. Runs into one of his own linemen, then is hammered by a Cassville defender.
Wildcats pursue big time. Came flying in there to bring Probert down. Great job there to start the second half for this Wildcat defense. Punt team coming on the field for the Indians.
And that was Ricky Norris again. coming in to lay the pads to Brody Probert. And the Indians are going to be forced to punt. This forced punt brought to you by Four State Dental Care. They've got 3 locations to best serve you with in-house insurance and benefits plans that ensure your smile will be beautiful at an affordable price. Four State Dental Care. Punt is received back at the 49-yard line by Bryan, and he's got the sidelines. He's inside the 35, inside the 30, finally taken out of bounds. Cassville with great field position.
I'll tell you what, this Wildcats special team, especially the return game, has done an outstanding job tonight. A big-time 20-plus yard return there by Bryan. But we've seen BB have a couple of big returns in the kicking game. So special teams doing a nice job in the return game for the Wildcats tonight. Great field position for the Wildcats here and a huge opportunity in this game.
The ball at the Seneca 29-yard line. Two minutes gone here in the second half. 1st and 10, Cassville. Flag comes out on the far side as Jaron Stearns kept it himself. He was able to pick up maybe a half a yard. It's going to be a motion penalty against the Wildcats.
Wildcats, the center, Looney's going up over the football. The rest of the Wildcats are standing in the huddle. And then they're breaking the huddle late in the play clock. The rest of the linemen, everyone's rushing up to get set. And I've seen it a couple of times here, and they finally got dinged for it. They're not quite getting set before the ball is snapped. So that's something Stearns and the coaching staff will need to look at. Just wait another count or so. Let those big guys up front get set and then snap the football.
So 1st and 15 for Cassville. The ball just inside the Seneca 35. 9:50 left to go in the third quarter. Seneca leading 14-7. Cassville with a big defensive stop. Now have a short field to work with after the punt. Stearns looking to throw. He's got a man wide open. Bredesen makes the catch at the 20, trying to tiptoe the sidelines.
Oh.
Did he stay in bounds? He's into the end zone. They say yes, he did. He tight-roped the sidelines. Touchdown, Cassville.
A nice little play action play call there. Stearns put the ball out there. Bredesen runs underneath it. Young wide receiver hit the brakes down right around the 4 or 5 yard line. Let a tackler go by and across the goal line in the end zone. Huge play right there.
So it took Cassville only 2 plays to score from the 30. And now Colton Roark to attempt the extra point. The snap's a little low. Good job by Gautney getting it on the tee, and the kick is up and in. With 9:38 left to go in the third quarter, we are tied again at 14. Cassville struck first tonight. Seneca with 2 unanswered scores took the lead, but now the Wildcats have caught them early on here in the second half.
Well, the Wildcats, Coach Weldy couldn't have scripted the start to this second half any better than the Wildcats have performed right here. 3 and out, get the football, go right down, put points on the board. Great job coming out after halftime.
2 plays, 29 yards, 30 seconds off the clock after the short kick. Cassville with a nice return. Got the ball in Seneca territory and made the Indians pay. 9:38 left to go here in the third quarter. Knotted at 14. Cassville going to kick it away from one Wildcat to another. Lane Stubblefield Realtor, along with Reese Nichols, want to be your real estate agents. Check out all they have to offer at lane.reesenichols.com. Tristan Thompson, one of the senior captains up there, firing up his kicker, Noah Driscoll. Last time Driscoll put it into the end zone for a touchback, and I'm sure Thompson was telling him, do it again. This time he booms it down the sidelines, and this one, is it going to stay in bounds? No, it doesn't. He tried to angle it past Miller again, but this time it goes out of bounds, and the Indians are going to get it at their own 35.
Once again, kicked it over the head of the return man. Just angled it a little too close to the sideline. Understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to basically eliminate a third of the field, so you only cover basically 2/3 of the field, pin them in the corner, let them try to make something happen from there. Just not quite able to keep it in bounds there.
So the Indians, 1st and 10 at their own 35. Brody Probert sends 3 receivers out wide to the left. Roman Miller in the backfield. Probert from the shotgun. Gives it to Miller. Miller goes right up the middle, now bounces it around the left end and fights his way out to the 40-yard line for a pickup of 5.
Actually hit in the backfield, was able to shake a tackler. and pick up 5 yards.
And with that carry, Roman Miller goes over 100 yards on the night unofficially. 104 on 15 carries. 2nd down and 5, Indians. Kai Adams joins Roman Miller in the backfield now alongside Probert, and they pitch the ball to Miller, runs in behind Adams, has a nice kick-out block, and he's got the first down out near midfield.
Little toss sweep, running with nice vision right there, put his foot in the ground, downfield he went. Brought down in the secondary, back there by Freed. Chance Freed's done a nice job out of that safety position, coming up and attacking in the run game.
It's a gain of 11. 1st and 10 at the Cassville 49 for the Indians. Again, Kai Adams lined up as a lead blocker. It's nice to have a 6-foot, 225-pound lead blocker over there for you. Roman Miller's enjoying that. This time they go back up the middle. Roman Miller, a little sidestep, hesitation, and then slips his way down to the 42-yard line and is able to gain another 6 or 7 yards.
Yeah, and again, just not really touched through the line of scrimmage. Big gain on 1st down.
For his explosiveness, he's a very patient running back. I mean, he just waits and waits and waits, but he knows when he sees the hole, he can kick it into high gear in the blink of an eye. This time Probert running the football, and he's got the speed, he's got the edge, and he's got the touchdown. As he takes it down the sidelines, once he bounced it to the outside, nobody was there, and Probert goes 42 yards for the score.
He got to the edge, that right side of that Wildcat defense, not just the defensive line, but they were completely washed out of the play, and Probert, nobody out in front.
42-yard touchdown run for Brody Probert, his 2nd rushing touchdown of the night, and that puts him over the 100-yard mark as well. And now the extra point try by the Indians snaps a little high, but the kick by Sherwood is up and in. And with 7:56 left to play in quarter number 3, the Indians back on top, 21-14. Took the Indians only 4 plays to go 65 yards and only a couple of minutes off the clock. So just like we saw early on in the football game, back in the first quarter, both teams trading back-to-back scores. Now the same thing has happened here in the second half. Cassville striking first, the Indians responding.
2 minutes later, almost identical.
Sherwood set to kick it away to Cassville. Wildcats have been using some different return men back there. We'll see who drops back this time. Camden Beebe had a couple of really nice returns so far tonight. He's going to go back there. And is he going to go back there by himself? Nope. Looks like Mason Bryan's going to go back there with him. So Sherwood set to kick it away. Cassville coming out of the south end zone. Kai Adams has to reset on the Seneca line of scrimmage to get ready. Now Sherwood boots it away. This one angled over towards Beebe. Lets it bounce, picks it up back at the 15-yard line. This time Beebe's going to be hit hard. Bounces off of that contact, keeps his legs underneath him. But there's too many white shirts there, and Beebe has nowhere to go. And Cassville, we'll see where they spot this one down. Looks like it's going to be out around the 25-yard line. And it looks like they're going to put it down at the 26.
Wildcat offense has done a nice job tonight. Got a long way to go here. A lot of field to work with.
7:50 left to go, quarter number 3. Seneca on top, 21-14. Wildcat football at their own 26-yard line. Quickly up to the line of scrimmage. Stearns takes the snap, hands it to the second man through, and he is hit right at the line of scrimmage. And we'll see who that was. I think it was Bryan. It was Mason Bryan getting up from the bottom of a couple of Seneca defenders. No gain on the play, 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, that's a tough one right there. If you're Mason Bryan, get to the line of scrimmage and got 2 defenders waiting for you right in the hole.
After all that success he had early in the football game, they've really been keying on him coming out of the backfield. He had 20 yards on his first 3 carries of the night, but since then has been held to only 9 on the next 3. 2nd down and 10 for the Wildcats, still at their own 26. Play clock down to 3. Stearns. Inside handoff goes to Roark. Roark circling around to the right side, trying to get to the sidelines, and Seneca's defense chases him down before he can turn it upfield.
Roark's able to get to the corner, just not much after that short gain.
He was able to get across the 30 to the 31 and pick up 5 yards, but it's still going to bring up a 3rd down and 5. Cassville 2 of 4 on 3rd down conversion tries back in the first half. It's their first 3rd down conversion attempt here in the second half. Castleberry comes out wide to the left for the Wildcats. Split backfield behind Stearns. Rolling to his left, now under pressure. Gets a block, sets up, throws back across the middle of the field, and a sliding catch made out at the 35-yard line. As coming back to help out his quarterback was Mason Bryan. It's going to be a short gain, and it's going to bring up 4th down.
Let's see what the Wildcats do here, deep in their own territory. They make 4th and a long 2. Got the offense on the field. We may see if Stearns can draw them off sides here.
Clock continuing to run with 5:40 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Quickly up to the line of scrimmage. Well, they got the defensive end to jump, but he didn't break the plane, and that's what they're trying to do. And Stearns is going to go for it on 4th and 2. Quick hitter out to the right side, and the pass is underthrown, and Seneca takes over on downs.
Yeah, that's tough right there. Stearns trying to go to Roark out there. Roark knew what he had to get. He went out, turned around, passed the yardage marker. Ball thrown just a little short right there. Indians going to take over Wildcat territory.
Well, Cassville had some really good field position after a punt and a nice return. Seneca kicking out of their own end zone, or deep in their own territory, I should say. Now the defense gets a big stop for the Indians to give the offense a short field to work with against the Wildcats. Cassville's defense strings it out on the first play of the drive, run by Roman Miller, as he is able to move ahead to the 31, picks up about 3 yards. It'll bring up 2nd down and a long 7. (21-14), Seneca with the lead as we hit the 5-minute mark left to play here in the 3rd quarter. Sherwood, the wide out to the wide side of the field. Probert's going to run back to the short side of the field, though, and gets a couple of blockers. Now we got a little extracurricular stuff going on downfield, but players separate from each other without any flags being thrown. Probert stopped short of the 25, down at the 26, after a gain of about 5.5 yards, and it's going to bring up 3rd down and a short 2. Seneca was 3 for 5 on 3rd down conversion tries in the first half. This time they give it to Roman Miller, and he just plows straight ahead, and he'll move the chains as Seneca picks up the 1st down.
Yeah, they're going to be tough to stop in short yardage situations. That offensive line gets good surge. When you got a back the size of Roman Miller coming in behind him, or Probert for that matter.
Seneca picking up the tempo a little bit, quickly up to the line of scrimmage. 1st and 10 at the Cassville 23. Fake the handoff to Miller. They dump it off to Kai Adams. First time he's touched the ball tonight. And a good job by Colton Roark. Gets into his legs and trips him up at the 19-yard line after a gain of 4.
Yeah, Kai Adams coming at you, 225 pounds. And you're a corner out there by yourself. You got to make that tackle. Roark did a nice job getting into those legs, bringing them to the ground.
So 2nd down and long for Seneca at the Cassville 19. Trip receivers to the left this time. Handoff goes to Miller. Miller, a big hole up the middle, fights his way down just shy of the 10-yard line. As Roman Miller, running in behind that big offensive line, is able to pick up about 6 or 7 yards, and it'll bring up 3rd down and short. Probert gives it to Miller. Starts left, cuts back right, picks up the 1st down as he slides inside the 10 down to the 9-yard line.
That's some of that patient running you talked about earlier, Sammy. 3rd and very short. Miller wasn't in a big hurry to hit the hole. He kind of waited, let a block set up right in front of him, and then just dove ahead for the 1st down.
So 1st and goal for the Indians from the Cassville 9 with 2:53 now left to play here in the 3rd quarter. Indians leading by 7, looking to add to that lead. This time man comes in motion. That is Wilson. Gets the handoff. Starts left, comes back to the right, finds a hole up the middle of the field and takes it in for the touchdown. Jagger Wilson, everything was designed to go wide around to the left end of the Seneca offense, which was the wide side of the field, and I don't know what Wilson saw, but suddenly he just hit the brakes, cut back to his right, and found pay dirt, and the Indians add to their lead.
We run the football with your eyes looking downfield, and he did a very nice job right there, seeing that seam and working his way into the end zone.
And now Sherwood in to attempt the point after, and it is no good. So 27-14. Seneca cannot make it a 14-point lead.
Really high snap right there, just not able to get a hold of it, put the ball on the ground.
7 plays, 34 yards. After the Cassville turnover on downs, the Indians get the 9-yard run from Jagger Wilson and extend their lead. First time tonight either team has led by more than a touchdown. We're down to 2:37 left to go here in quarter number 3.
How many times have we seen missed extra points come back to haunt teams in high school football?
More than a few times.
We've seen it. We've sure seen it. So hugely important, and we'll see if that one comes back to haunt the Indians in this game. Wildcats need to get something going here. 2.5 minutes to go here in the 3rd. Really need to get something going here, get some points on the board.
Roark's back deep now for Cassville, awaiting the kick from Sherwood. He angles it away, though, from Roark, fielded by Beebe back there at his own 15, trying to bring it around to the Cassville sideline, gets across the 20. Nice power shown by Beebe with the defender on his back, carries him out close to the 30-yard line before he is bulldogged out of bounds.
Well, several players on both of these teams are playing both offensively and defensively. So we'll see how the conditioning is with these two squads as we reach the 4th quarter and finish this game.
Cassville starting the drive at their own 27-yard line. Play being shuffled in from the sidelines. 1st and 10 Wildcats. Down 27-14 here. Castleberry over here on the narrow side of the field. And a flag is thrown in the Cassville backfield as the ball given up the middle. Ball carrier was Mason Bryan. He takes it out to the 33 for a gain of 6, but this one may be coming back.
Someone was moving a little bit early in that offensive backfield.
So it will take the ball back to the 22-yard line after the 5-yard penalty. 5th flag of the night against Cassville for a total of 37 yards. 1st and 15 for the Wildcats. Mace Bredesen brings the play in from the sideline. Still plenty of time on the play clock, 20 seconds. So the Wildcats will have ample opportunity to get set up and ready to run this play, facing 1st and 15.
Well, how about the game Mace Bredesen's had tonight? Good-looking young player. Speed.
Here comes Stearns trying to get to the sidelines. Now he fakes out a defender, keeps it in bounds, and picks up extra yardage. And then we got a flag coming out behind the play back at the 25. So Stearns, a good job there. He faked the defender out. The defender thought he was going to run out of bounds, and he just hit the brakes and spun back up the sidelines to pick up an extra 5 or 6 yards. And the flag is going to be waved off.
Well, you had a couple state champion wrestlers back there kind of talking to each other maybe about that, but Roark and Jason Renfro. And the officials must have said, these guys have a little history, so we're going to wave this flag off.
It's a gain of 13, and it'll bring up a second down and about 2.5 yards to go for Cassville, just inside their own 35-yard line. Stearns this time gives it up the middle. Nice running room. Good surge by the offensive line as Tristan Thompson powers his way out to the 40-yard line and picks up a Wildcat first down. Wildcat first down brought to you by Superior Metal. They're first in custom ag buildings. They're also first in all your farm building needs. Check them out online for examples of what they can custom build for you at SuperiorMetalSalesInc.com.
Yeah, a really good job there in that short yardage situation with Harley Madison and Looney, the center, really getting a good push, allowing Thompson to pick up that first down.
Down to a minute 28 left to play, third quarter. Cassville down 27-14, and now the snap and the ball dropped but picked up by Bryan, but we got a procedure penalty against Cassville. Boy, both teams have been plagued by that tonight.
Again, the Wildcats are coming. They're waiting to the last second to break the huddle, and they're not getting set before they snap the football. So they've got to clean that up, and they got to clean it up fast.
And you'll see procedural stuff in week number 1 a lot of times, but most of the time it's in the first half because it's all been addressed at halftime, and they said, hey, we need to quit this.
Yeah.
And you don't see it as much in the second half, but Seneca and Cassville still having a little trouble here in the second half.
You got to get set.
Quick snap to Stearns. Stearns rolling to his right, under pressure, lets it fly. It's high, and it's nearly intercepted. It goes off the fingertips of the intended receiver out there, and then Hunter Haynes nearly was able to come down with the tipped football. Colton Roark went up high and tried to gather it in, could not do so, and it nearly fell into the lap of Hunter Haynes, but it falls harmlessly to the ground, and it'll bring up second down.
Yeah, Stearns, I know he threw the football high right there, but he did a nice job showing some elusiveness back there, avoiding some trouble, working his way around, and still had the arm strength to fire it out there. Sailed on him a little bit. Roark nearly made a great catch, but that's a good sign. Watching a young quarterback in his first start, you can kind of see what he can do with his footwork in the backfield.
Cassville going to have to hurry to get the snap off, and they did not get out of the huddle in time to get the snap, and the Wildcats forced to use a timeout. Coach Weldy not happy, and he is going to talk to his team right now. Timeout on the field brought to you by Security Bank. Any bank can cash checks, accept deposits, and make loans, but the distinguishing factor between banks is their level of service to the customer. Whether it's a loan decision or the processing of your bank statement, all the decisions and services at Security Bank are generated by their talented local bank staff in a prompt, fair, and professional manner. Security Bank of Southwest Missouri, with locations in Cassville, Wheaton, and Exeter, member FDIC. 58 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. Cassville trailing Seneca 27-14. And the Wildcats facing second down and 15 at their own 35-yard line. Tonight's game also brought to you in part by MetaPlansPlus.com. Eric Seifert, your local trusted licensed insurance agent for Medicare, health insurance plans, dental plans, and much more. Find out more at MetaPlansPlus.com. So here we go. Full house backfield behind Stearns. Quick drop. Throws and misses the slant once again. And Probert, check that. That was not Probert. That was Adams. Nearly stepped in front of that pass, but it does go incomplete, and it'll bring up third down.
Yeah, the Indians have done a nice job defending that slant most of the night. And it's just positioning by that corner, not allowing the receiver to step across the face.
So 3rd down and 15, Cassville at their own 35. Stearns rolling to his right, pressure coming from the edge. Steps up, lets her go. Deep downfield, and the ball is tipped out of bounds. The defender back there,
wow.
Drew Sherwood, had a handful of the jersey of Colton Roark, but no flag over there on the Seneca sideline.
Wow.
And if you're both battling going up for the ball, that's one thing, but Roark never really got the opportunity to go up for the ball because he was being held down.
Held down, yeah. The ball was a little underthrown there, and a lot of times you see pass interference calls because the defender's trying to catch up and they run into the receiver. Well, you kind of saw it right there, and then just a double handful of jersey. Roark had no chance to go after the ball.
So Roark now punts it away, only the second time Cassville's had to punt tonight. Hunter Haynes back at his own 30, snaps low. Hunter Haynes watches the kick come off the foot of Roark, bounces and scoops it up back at the 24-yard line, and here he comes down the sidelines, and he is finally run out of bounds near the 40 by Sky Yang.
Well, Haynes is not a very big kid down there, but he's got some wheels. Very quick.
So let's see, we got 25, 26. "41-yard kick, but about a 20-yard return as Seneca will take over at their own 43. 35 seconds left here in the third quarter. The Indians leading the Wildcats 27-14. Low snap to Probert, pass down the line, caught by Sherwood, gets around a defender and picks up positive yardage out across the 45 to the 47. Nice little shake and shimmy there by Drew Sherwood. Looked to be like only maybe a yard pickup, and instead he picks up nearly 5. Indians going to run the football this time. They give the ball to Roman Miller, and Miller will not be denied. He lowers the shoulder, drives with the legs, and picks up a first down in Cassville territory down to the 44.
That toss sweep will take us to the fourth quarter. Indians in Wildcat territory.
So it is a 9-yard pickup for Roman Miller. And the final play of the third quarter. We put a fresh 12 minutes on the clock as we head to the final quarter of play here at Cassville. The Indians lead the Wildcats 27-14. We'll be back with the fourth quarter action after this. You're listening to Big A Football here on the Talon Network. Tonight's fourth quarter is brought to you by First State Bank in Cassville. Over 26 years ago, First State Bank came to Main Street in Cassville to help their friends and neighbors reach their financial goals. Indians with the football at the Cassville 44-yard line, 1st and 10, Seneca. Probert with Adams and Miller back there with him, keeps it himself. He's inside the 40, breaks the tackle, he's got open field, and he will take it to the house. Touchdown, Indians. The middle of the field just opened up, and Probert went right down the seam.
Just weaved his way down the seam, showed that speed at the end. Big-time play.
44-yard touchdown run by Brody Probert, his third rushing touchdown of the night. And Seneca extends their lead to 33-14 on the first play of the fourth quarter. And the Indians are going to try to get that missed extra point back as they line up to go for 2. Probert fakes it to Miller and is hit at the 2-yard line. Tries to reach out and break the plane, but he is going to be denied. Good job by the Cassville defense. The conversion attempt fails, so it stays 33-14 in favor of the Indians. Took them only 3 plays to go the 57 yards. And only took about 45 seconds off the clock. As 3 unanswered scores by the Indians have given them a comfortable lead now here early in the fourth quarter.
After the first series of the second half, Wildcats forced a 3 and out and went right down and scored. The Indians have taken control.
Yeah, Cassville forced that punt on the first possession of the second half, and things were looking pretty favorable, but then 3 possessions in a row, the Indians have put touchdowns on the board.
42-yard run by Probert, 9-yard run by Jagger Wilson, and another 44-yard run by Probert.
That's one thing we didn't talk about in the pregame either when we were talking about keys to victory. Seneca is one of those teams that thrive on big plays too, and you got to limit those big plays, and Cassville was able to do that in the first half, but now 2 big long touchdown runs of 40-plus yards have given the Indians a little comfort here in the second half.
Yeah, and I think you're starting to see a little fatigue out on the field as well.
Roark and Beebe back deep to await the kick. Coming from Drew Sherwood. High kick this time from Sherwood. And Beebe's going to haul it in back at the 13-yard line. Brings it right up between the hashes. He's out across the 30. 1 man to beat. It's a foot race. Sherwood, Beebe, Sherwood, Beebe. Beebe is going to win the foot race. Touchdown, Cassville.
Heck of a play. And again, the return game for the Wildcats has been outstanding tonight. Beebe catches the football, bobbles it actually, picks it up, full speed, right down the field, outran the last man. Huge return by Beebe.
An 86-yard touchdown run on the kick return for Beebe, and that's to go along with a couple of 30-plus yard returns he's had tonight. I don't officially keep return yardage, but Beebe has got over 150 yards easily tonight in return yardage. So that will put Cassville right back into the mix. A little special teams touchdown. And now the kick by Roark is up and good, and Cassville back to within 2 scores with 11 and a half minutes left to go in the football game. Well, it looked for a moment like Sherwood may have had a bit of an angle on him, and he actually got to him about the 30, maybe the 28, but then it's like Beebe felt him and just shifted it into an extra gear there and was able to outrun all the would-be pursuers into the end zone.
Well, it's got to be, kickoff return's got to be one of the most exciting plays in football. And Beebe got to experience that right there. Camden Beebe, great job tonight in the return game for sure.
The Wildcat touchdown brought to you by Willis Insurance. If you're at the lake, you can come by and see the folks at Willis Insurance in the Bridgeway Plaza in Shell Knob. Or if you're in Cassville, they're located on the square. Stop by and get a quote today. Wildcat Extra Point brought to you by Berry Electric Cooperative. Internet reliability is spelled GOBEC in Berry County. Now the Wildcats set to kick it away. Wildcat kickoff brought to you by Lane Stubblefield and Reese Nichols. You can find out all they have to offer. They want to be your real estate agents. Go to lane.reesenichols.com. Hunter Haynes back all by himself at his own 15-yard line, awaiting the kick coming from Noah Driscoll. He'll drive this one down the left hash, and Sherwood, who had moved back there, actually that's Jagger Wilson, who had moved back there with Haynes, fields the kick back at his own 12-yard line, brings it up the Seneca sideline, and is tripped up before he can get out across the 25.
Good pursuit there by the Wildcat kick team.
So 1st and 10 Indians at their own 25, 33-21. Seneca on top with 11 and a half left to play. Cassville stays with the 4-man front. Probert. A couple of running backs off his right hip. He fakes to Miller, goes back to the right side, he's got the edge, turns it up the sideline and picks up a first down before being run out of bounds out around the 40-yard line.
Yeah, Probert has done big-time damage with his legs tonight against this Wildcat football team.
Spot him down at the 41, so it's a gain of 16 for Probert. He's approaching 200 yards rushing here tonight.
Making that quick read in the backfield, pulling the football, and around the edge he goes, and he's had a lot of success tonight.
1st and 10, Seneca. This time the handoff goes to Miller. Gets a block from Kai Adams, and Roman Miller plunges ahead to the 44-yard line for a short pickup of 3 yards. So 2nd down and 7 to go for the Indians. Down to 11 minutes left to play here in the football game. The Indians up by 13. Fakes the handoff to Miller, and Probert dives out to midfield. Brought down right at the 50-yard line, comes up short of the first down. So it'll be 3rd down and 1 for the Indians at the 50-yard line. They were 3 of 4 on 3rd down conversion tries back in the first half, only 1 for 3 here in the second half. And a 3rd and short here for the Indians. Big Kai Adams over there on the right side. And they give the ball to Roman Miller. Miller has the first down, slips through one tackle, takes it inside the 45, still on his feet down to the Cassville 40 before he is finally brought down.
Thompson, good pursuit. Isaac Looney from that defensive tackle position getting downfield, getting in on the tackle as well.
It's a gain of 11. 1st and 10 Indians at the Cassville 39. Roman Miller's been the workhorse tonight. That was his 24th carry in the ballgame. Trip receivers to the left. Fake the handoff this time to Miller, and I think he was supposed to get it. Probert was reaching out and stretching, and Miller thought he was supposed to block. A little miscommunication there between quarterback and running back. Probert trying to pick up some positive yardage, and he is going to lose a yard back to the 40.
Well, a nice job there. Ricky Norris put that face mask right into the chest of Probert. Nice hit.
That's the 2nd time tonight that Ricky Norris has put a big hit on a Seneca offensive player. So 2nd down and 11 now for the Indians. We're down to 9.5 left to go. Probert this time going to run around the right end. He's got a lot of room over there. A lot of green grass and a first down run for Brody Probert down inside the 30-yard line.
Wow.
That offensive line, they got a lot of new faces up there. They got a couple of familiar faces back. Renfro being one of those, Jace Renfro, but some new guys up there. The graduation finally started catching up to the guys in the trenches for Seneca, but they're doing a really nice job tonight blocking for these Indian running backs. Spot the ball down at the 25. First down for Seneca. Roman Miller starts right, bounces back to the left, and runs right into a wall of black shirts. 4 Cassville defenders all over Roman Miller, and they're going to drop him for a loss back at the 26.
Braxton Cornell right in the middle of that, finishing off that tackle. Nice job there, the Wildcat linebacker.
So 2nd down and 11 for the Indians. We're down to 8:20 left to play. Seneca on top, 33-21. Adams and Miller in the backfield with Probert. Probert is hit and dropped for a loss. Big play there by Vincent Arguelles. Come flying through and drops Probert for a loss of 2.
Yeah, completely got through that line of scrimmage. Got into his legs. Huge defensive play right there. Just under 8 minutes to go in this ball game. Wildcats need to get that football back. They need to stop here. They need the ball back.
Big third down right here. 3rd down and 12 after a couple of losses for the Indians. Kind of stalled their momentum out. See if Cassville can get one more stop here. Probert down the line, goes to Haynes. Haynes gets a block. He's got the edge down the sidelines. Flag comes out. Haynes dives into the end zone for the touchdown, but we got a flag, and this one appears to be going against the Indians. That block on the edge, the offensive lineman grabbed a handful of black jersey, and the penalty is going to bring back a touchdown for the Indians. The penalty against Seneca, brought to you by the Rib Steakhouse. They're open Wednesday through Saturday, 3 to 9, with specials every night at the Rib. Costly penalty there. Not only took away the first down, but took away points.
Absolutely. Brings up 3rd and a long way. Yeah, Roark was the corner out on that side. Just trying to come up and make the play. Offensive lineman coming out lead block and just tackled him, basically.
Yeah. And initially he got position on him. He was in pretty good shape, but then all of a sudden, like you said, he just grabs hold of him and takes him down. Probert this time launches one, and nobody's home.
Great.
Don't know who he was going to, Haynes or Sherwood, but Haynes went out. Sherwood went in, and Probert threw it to the pylon, and nobody was there.
He was feeling that pressure. Zach Myers, from his defensive end position, put a shot on Brody Probert as he delivered that football. He could feel it coming, and Myers blasted him pretty good right there. 4th down.
4th down and about 20 to go. Seneca with the 13-point lead. 7 minutes left to play at the Cassville 33. What's Coach Hilburn going to do here? And it looks like they are going to call a timeout. Timeout on the field brought to you by Security Bank of Southwest Missouri, with locations in Cassville, Exeter, and Wheaton. Everyone has debit cards, ATMs, mobile banking, but at Security Bank, you sit across from a neighbor and a decision maker. They have all the newest banking features with the same hometown service. Security Bank, member FDIC. All right, checking out the Jimmy Mitchell Motors scoreboard. We've got some scores around the Big 8. Mount Vernon hanging on to a 21-20 lead at Aurora over the Hound Dogs. Nevada 43-6 over Monette. Lamar leading McDonald County 20-13 in the second half. Springfield Catholic has saw East Newton score, and the Patriots trail the Irish by 3. Other scores around the area: Marionville over Stockton 30-8, and Houston in the second half with a 28-20 lead over Pierce City. In the area scoreboard brought to you by Jimmy Mitchell Motors, 555 South Elliott Avenue in Aurora, Missouri. Find out more at jimmymitchell.com. That's Jimmy, MICHEL.com. Great selection of new and used inventory there at Jimmy Mitchell Motors in Aurora. So 4th down and 20 to go for the Indians. Trip receivers to the left. Pressure coming from the edge. Here comes Thompson on the blitz. Probert steps up. He's got one-on-one, and the ball is tipped, and a flag comes out. Blaze Graham was back there one-on-one against the Cassville defender. And was that Bredesen?
Yeah.
And there was contact over on the far sideline, and the flag was thrown.
I think they're saying he didn't ever turn his head and find the football, but it's not going to be a penalty. It's not an automatic first down in this league. So it's still 4th down.
Is it 10 yards? 15. It's a 15-yard penalty. They needed 20. So it'll be 4th down and 5 now, actually about 4.5 at the Cassville 18. So still Seneca faced with 4th down.
Well, that's a tough pass interference call right there. That's tough.
7 minutes left to go here in the football game. Seneca leading 33-21, and Coach Hilburn and the offensive staff for Seneca wants to talk things over again here on 4th and 3. Again, the timeout on the field brought to you by Security Bank. If you want mobile banking, ATMs, multiple branches, and all types of loans, and still be able to go into the lobby and see your personal banker, you just described Security Bank of Southwest Missouri. Take time out to look at Security Bank, member FDIC.
Coach Weldy talking to the head official about that pass interference call. That's a tough call to make, especially in this time in the game.
Well, and I'm sure he's probably reminding him that Colton Rourke just got mugged over there about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, so what's going on the other sideline? Because it's all happening over there.
And Coach Weldy's still pointing over there, and the head official is explaining.
Big play right here for this Wildcat defense.
So 4th and 3. Seneca leading by 13. Or actually, leading by 12. With 7 minutes left to go in the football game. They pitch the ball to Roman Miller. He's hit, but then slides off of that contact and reaches out and looks to have the first down inside the 15-yard line. Second effort by Roman Miller converts the first down, and he has been tough to bring down all night long, and he picks up 4 yards when they needed about 3.5, and he moves the chains.
Tough break right there.
So Seneca back moving again. Probert this time hit in the backfield and dropped. As the quarterback sack brought to you by Auto Body Solutions. From dings and dents to, oh dear, a major collision repair can all be fixed at Auto Body Solutions at the corner of 86, 76, and 37 in Cassville. They'll treat you like family and get you back on the road. Stop by and see Dool and the gang at Auto Body Solutions. The ball moved back to the 16, loss of 2.
Clock continuing to run, closing in on 6 minutes to go in this game.
Yeah, time now starting to become a factor here late in this football game. Seneca leading 33-21. Looking to add to that lead, trying to keep the drive alive. Roman Miller around the right end. Picks up the lost yardage and maybe another yard or 2. They're going to spot him down at the 12 for a pickup of 4. Roman Miller unofficially now 168 yards on the night on 27 carries. But he is not the leading ball carrier.
He is not.
Brody Probert over 200 yards on the night.
Damage has been done by 2 players basically tonight for the Seneca Indians.
So another big third down play here. Third down and a long 8. Nearly 9 yards to go for the Indians. Probert going to run to the short side of the field. Got Miller leading the way. Gets kick out block from Graham. Cuts it back inside, and it looks like he has a first down. We'll have to wait until they spot the football. We're at a bad angle all the way on the opposite side of the field. Have not seen the official signal yet to move the chains. They're still looking. They're checking with the sidelines, and now they signal first down Seneca, and it'll be first and goal for the Indians.
Yeah, once again, Probert working his way around that edge and just weaving his way through defenders.
They spot it down at the 4 after a gain of 8. And now Seneca can maybe seal the deal, but a low snap. Probert picks it up. He fumbles the football, and the Wildcats have recovered. A low snap into the feet of Probert. As soon as he picked it up, he was hammered. The ball came free, and the Wildcats have recovered.
Hey, no time is better for a turnover right there. It looked like coming off the edge after Probert finally corralled the football. It looked like that was Vincent Arguelles again. He's made a couple of big plays late in this game, and I believe he was the one that hit Probert, knocked the ball down. And Wildcats, huge fumble recovery right here.
16 plays. They took over 6 minutes off the clock, and they're going to come away with no points because Cassville gets the first turnover of the night against the Indians. They're deep in their own territory. They're going to have to protect the football now, and flags fly at the snap.
And again, procedure against the Wildcats.
So that will push them even closer to their own end zone, back to the 5.
Wow, that has been a
That's the 8th penalty of the night for 62 yards. And a lot of those have been procedure penalties.
Yes. Obviously something that they can clean up, certainly. But it's really haunted them tonight.
So 1st and 15 now for Cassville with 4:55 left to play. Seneca leading 33-21. Wildcats running the football. And the ball carrier that time was Camden Beebe, and he is wrapped up as he gets it out to the 6 for a pickup of only 1.
Wildcats need a chunk play right here, Sammy. Something with big yardage. Get the ball down the field quickly.
So 2nd down and 14 for the Wildcats. Clock continuing to roll as we're closing in on 4 minutes left to go in the football game. Stearns rolling to his right, pump fake, throws back underneath, and it's caught. A great catch in traffic made by Bredesen out at the 17-yard line to get Cassville out of a hole.
Yeah, great sliding catch. Bredesen had a defender all over his back there. No call, but a great catch.
It's a gain of 11.5, nearly 12 yards out to the 18, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 2. Cassville has yet to convert a 3rd down here in the second half. They need a big one right here. Handoff, and there's the 1st down. Is out of the backfield. Comes the running back. That's Beebe, and Beebe's got the sidelines. He's inside the 30, inside the 20, finally wrestled out of bounds at about the 18-yard line. A big run by Camden Beebe.
There's your chunk play we talked about. Huge play by Beebe right there, and that's exactly what the Wildcats needed at this point in the game. Big play, get the ball down the field, get in striking distance. Just under 3.5 minutes to go in this one. Beebe out of bounds, stopping the clock.
Wildcat 1st down brought to you by Superior Metal. They're first in all your farm building needs. Find them online for examples of what they can custom build for you. SuperiorMetalSalesInc.com. The ball spotted down at the 18-yard line. So from 118 to the other on the run by Beebe. Jaron Stearns fakes the handoff to Rohr. Going to keep it himself, and he is hit hard as he turns the corner. Maybe picked up a yard.
Camden Beebe, they've got him listed at 5'9", 170. He looks a little thicker than that to me.
He looks, yes, he does. So it's a gain of 1 for Stearns.
Three minutes remaining in this one.
A 64-yard run from Camden Beebe. He's got the ball inside the 20, but time starting to become a factor for the Wildcats. Under 3 minutes to go. 2nd down and 9. Stearns going to keep it himself. Cuts it back and takes it down close to the 10. They spot him down at the 11 after a 6-yard gain.
Clock continuing to run. Wildcat offense. He's maybe have a little more sense of urgency here. They certainly need to get points, but you got to leave yourself a chance because you need to score twice.
Another big 3rd down play here. 3rd down and 3 now for Cassville. At the Seneca 11. Handoff goes to Thompson. Thompson trying to bounce it outside and is wrestled down from behind. He gets down to the 6 or 7 yard line. Does pick up the Wildcat 1st down. The Wildcat 1st down brought to you by Superior Metal Sales. Give them a call for a free quote, 888-364-9527. It's a pickup of 4 for Thompson. 1st and goal at the 7. 2 minutes left to play here in the football game. Cassville down 33-21. Split backfield. Stearns gives it to, is that Gautney? And in Gautney powers his way down to the 1 yard line, but Seneca holds him out of the end zone. A gain of 6 for Andon Gautney. And it's 2nd and goal from the 1. 1:40 and counting left to play. Cassville having some difficulty getting the play in as personnel not on the field as they were short somebody, and the Wildcats have to burn a timeout. We'll see if that proves to be costly. Still 94 seconds left to go here in the football game. The timeout brought to you by Security Bank. They have all the newest banking features with the same hometown service. Debit cards, ATMs, mobile banking, all at Security Bank of Exeter, Wheaton, and Cassville. Member FDIC. 33-21, Seneca on top. Cassville with second and goal from the 1. .94 seconds left to go in the football game. Big run by Camden Beebe has got Cassville in striking distance here, and Wildcats hoping to cut into that Seneca lead. Because with the missed conversion opportunities by the Indians, Cassville still in this if they can score here quickly and then get the ball back, because 2 touchdowns will win them a football game.
Well, you're going to have to score, and then you're going to have to get an onside kick. Now, that's, it's not a real high percentage play. It happens. Anything can happen.
Okay, here we go. Rhino package, full house backfield. Stearns up under center. Hands it off to the last man, and touchdown Wildcats. As the Wildcats punch it in from 1 yard out. Was that Beebe or Roark? Did you see? I couldn't see. I saw the one and I couldn't see. They were both over there, 31-11.
I think it was 11.
I think Beebe was leading the way. Yeah, I think you're exactly right. And Roark was the guy that was following along behind. So Colton Roark with the 1 yard plunge, his first rushing touchdown of the night to go along with a receiving touchdown. And now the extra point. The kick is low and it is blocked. It was a bad snap, I believe. Gautney never really got it positioned on the tee perfectly. And then the kick never got airborne very much at all. It was a low line drive, and it stays 33-27. But the crazy part, since Seneca was no good on 2 conversion tries, a touchdown still wins you the football game if you can make the extra point.
Touchdown ties it. And then, and then your extra point comes into play. So Wildcats still have a chance here. They've been very good in the special teams department tonight. And we'll see how their onside kick team is. This is essentially the ball game. I mean, they've got to get it right here.
The Wildcat touchdown brought to you by Willis Insurance. For auto, home, health, life, and commercial insurance, see the folks at Willis Insurance on the square in Cassville and in Shell Knob in the Bridgeway Plaza. Stop by and get a quote today or call 847-3300 in Cassville or 858-3747 in Shell Knob. The Wildcat extra point try was brought to you by Berry Electric Cooperative. If you suffer from buffering, call Gobeck. Your business needs Gobeck, Berry Electric Cooperative. Wildcat kickoff brought to you by Lane Stubblefield Realtor along with Reese Nichols. They want to be your real estate agents. Find out more online at lane.reesenichols.com. Colton Roark tees it up. Seneca's got 10 of the 11 returners up within 10 yards of the football, and the kick is covered by Drew Sherwood at the 50-yard line. So the Indians did what they needed to do, recover that onside kick. Cassville has only 1 timeout left. So it looks like Seneca is going to be able to run out the clock.
Yeah, that onside kick is tough. What you're looking for, the ball's got to go 10 yards. What you're hoping for is for the ball to hit the ground twice, once initially and then get that second hop.
Usually that second hop is a big high one.
That's what you're hoping for. That the Wildcats, unfortunately, just the one hop right to the defender.
Snap goes to Brody Probert. It's a low snap, but he gathers it up, fakes the handoff to Miller, and pushes ahead to the 48-yard line for a gain of 2. It'll bring up 2nd down and 8, but the Indians get the clock in motion. Cassville does not use the timeout yet, as we're down to 1 minute left to play. And Seneca will let every second of that play clock tick down as well.
Well, I don't know what most people thought would happen in this game tonight, but I can tell you that it's certainly a lot different than last year's outing against the Indians.
A bobbled snap, but Probert again able to get his hands around it and avoid the turnover. And a quick hitter inside the 45 down to the 42. He's able to pick up 6 yards.
Wildcats use their timeout here.
Stops the clock with 36.9 seconds remaining. Timeout on the field brought to you by Security Bank. Any bank can cash checks, accept deposits, and make loans, but the distinguishing factor between banks is their level of service. All the decisions at Security Bank are generated by their local bank staff in a prompt, fair, and professional manner. Security Bank, with locations in Cassville, Wheaton, and Exeter, member FDIC. 3rd down and 2 for the Indians. They're only 1 for 5 here in the second half on 3rd down conversions.
Well,
and they don't have to pick this one up.
No, they just have to take a knee right here. Outside of a botched snap, fumble situation.
And that's kind of, when he bobbled that first snap, I was thinking, why are you even snapping the football to the shotgun? You think he hasn't been under center all night long, but this is the time when you kind of want to make sure you don't fumble the football. But I'm sure Cassville fans are saying, hey, if that's the way you want to do it, go ahead. So this time they go into the victory formation, and that's going to do it. Probert takes the snap, takes the knee. Cassville will not be able to stop the clock. The game clock is under the play clock, and the Indians have come to Cassville and escaped with a 33-27 win. Heck of a football game to open up the season and open up Big 8 play for both of these teams.
Great game. I mean, if you're a fan out here watching, that was an exciting football. And you saw a little bit of everything. Kickoff return for touchdown. Big plays on both sides. Passing touchdowns. Just a little bit of everything. A few too many penalties for everybody's liking. But overall, week 1, pretty exciting football out here.
Yeah, a year ago, Seneca down in Seneca, 155-16. Tonight, they win by 6, 33-27. Indians start the year with a victory. Cassville will regroup and get ready to go out on the road in week number 2 down to McDonald County to take on the Mustangs. We'll step aside, and then we will be back with more. As we continue on, we'll be bringing you the Heritage Tractor postgame show. We'll get a word with Coach Clay Weldy in the postgame as well and run over all the stats and check out the Jimmy Mitchell Motor scoreboard as well here in week number 1 of the high school football season. Seneca wins it 33-27. Back with more. You're listening to Big 8 Football here on the Talon Network. Sammy Clapper and Jeremy Marple back with you here in Cassville. The Seneca Indians have defeated the Cassville Wildcats 33-27. Cassville got out to the early 7-0 lead. Seneca tied it 2 minutes later. Then Seneca would take the lead 14-7 with 6:50 left to go in the first half, and that would be their lead at the break as the Indians led the Wildcats by a touchdown. Cassville scored early in the second half to tie the score at 14, but then Seneca would counter with 3 unanswered scores, a 42-yard run from Brody Probert, a 9-yard run from Jagger Wilson, and then a 44-yard run from Brody Probert, his third rushing touchdown of the night. That all countered that early score when Jaron Stearns hooked up with Mace Bredesen on a touchdown play, and the Indians would lead 33-14. But then Cassville made a rally in the fourth quarter. An 86-yard kickoff return from Camden Beebe got it down to an 8-point game, a 12-point game. And then with 1:30 left, Colton Roark would punch it in from 1 yard out, a 9-play, 90-yard drive, and that would get him within 6, and that's the way it would end, 33-27.
Yeah, tough game tonight. Very physical. Certainly when these two teams play, it's going to be physical. Week 1, what a matchup, right out of the chute, Seneca Indians and the Cassville Wildcats. And, again, I don't know, you kind of read things before the season. Wildcats weren't really given much of a shot out here tonight. And, a lot of it goes back to, what happened last year. Well, high school football last year doesn't mean just a whole lot. But the Wildcats came out tonight and fought and hung in this game, gave themselves an opportunity, and get beat by 6. And to a two-time, back-to-back team that had been in the state championship game. So, Wildcats played well, played hard, just couldn't quite pull it out in the end against a really, really good football team.
Well, it's time to start up the Heritage Tractor post-game show. Heritage Tractors, your local John Deere dealer. They have various locations all around the area. It's a great time of year to buy a tractor. Stop in for great deals and low financing at Heritage Tractor. Looking at the team stats from tonight's football game, the Seneca Indians rushed for 50 carries, 406 yards on the ground for the Indians. They completed 4 of 7 passes for 18 yards for a total of 420 yards of offense. 19 first downs for the Indians. They turned it over once on a fumble. They were penalized 7 times for 45 yards. Both teams plagued by penalties tonight. And Seneca punted twice for a 37-yard average. Cassville carried the ball 25 times for 166 yards. 6 of 13 through the air for 107 for a total of 273. Wildcats picked up 10 first downs. They also had a turnover on an interception. They were penalized 8 times for 62 yards. And Cassville punted twice for 41 yards on the night. Individual numbers, first of all for Seneca, their quarterback Brody Probert had 23 carries for 3 touchdowns and unofficially 223 yards on the ground. Roman Miller had 27 carries for 168 yards and a touchdown, and Jagger Wilson carried once for 9 yards and a score. Wilson also had a catch for 10 yards, and Kai Adams had a catch for 4 yards. Drew Sherwood had a catch for 4 yards on the night for the Indians. For the Cassville Wildcats, they were led on the ground by Camden Beebe, 63 yards on 3 carries. Colton Roark had 23 yards on 5 carries and a touchdown. Mason Bryan, 29 yards on 6 carries. Tristan Thompson, 21 yards on 4 carries. Jaron Stearns had 21 yards on 4 carries as well. Colton Roark had 2 catches for 31 yards and a touchdown. Mace Bredesen, 3 catches, 73 yards, and a touchdown. And Mason Bryan had 1 catch for 3 yards on the night.
Yeah, once again, Clay Wilde offense, he likes to spread the ball around, and several people touching the ball offensively tonight. Everybody with positive yardage and touchdowns scattered around there. So you playing this offense, you're going to have an opportunity to, do something.
Well, it was back and forth through the first half. Then Cassville was able to get it tied there early in the second half, but the Indians with those 3 unanswered scores gave themselves a little breathing room. Wildcats made the rally late, but the rally falls just short. The onside kick was recovered by the Indians, and that secured the victory for Seneca on the road here tonight in the Big 8. We're going to take another break as we continue on with the Heritage Tractor postgame show. Heritage Tractor, your local John Deere dealer. They've got equipment ranging from construction and compact utility tractors to mowers and recreational vehicles, and they work hard to find the right products for you. Stop by or visit heritagetractor.com. Back with more. You're listening to Wildcat Football here on the Talon Network. Role models are more important than ever in today's society. You can serve as a role model for others next time you display good sportsmanship at a high school athletic event. Good sports are winners and are also vital to preserving our fine sports traditions. So the next time you attend a sporting event, remember to be a good sport and help rekindle the spirit of citizenship. This message of sportsmanship brought to you by Access Family Care with locations in Cassville, Neosho, Aurora, Mount Vernon, and Joplin. We continue on with the Heritage Tractor post-game show. Heritage Tractors, your local John Deere dealer. They have locations all around the area. Stop in for great deals and low financing at Heritage Tractor. The Seneca Indians win it 33-27. Looking around the rest of the area scoreboard, it's time to check out the Jimmy Mitchell Motors scoreboard here. Jimmy Mitchell Motors, South Elliott in Aurora. They've got a great selection of new and used vehicles. Find out more and check out their inventory online at jimmymitchell.com. That's Jimmy, M-I-C-H-E-L.com. The Jimmy Mitchell Motors scoreboard, checking it out, the Bell Bowl over in Aurora. Mountaineers hanging on to a 28-26 lead over the Aurora Hound Dogs late in the fourth quarter there at Kelly Field. The Nevada Tigers are trying to hold off the Monette Cubs. Nevada got up big in the first half. Monette scored a couple of touchdowns in the second half, but the Tigers leading the Cubs in the fourth quarter 50-20. Elsewhere around the Big Eight, quite the battle in Barton County. Lamar leading McDonald County 35-32, so pretty good battle going up in Barton County there between the Tigers and the Mustangs. East Newton's got a 20-17 lead over Springfield Catholic. And then a couple of scores out of the Southwest Conference. Marionville leading Stockton 48-16. And McDonald County has now scored, and they lead Lamar 39-35. So are we going to have a big upset in week number 1 of the Big 8? Mustangs leading. That's the next opponent for Cassville, too, as they head down to Anderson next week. And another score, Houston leading Pierce City 42-20. Again, that's the scores we have here on the Jimmy Mitchell Motors scoreboard. Jimmy Mitchell Motors, South Elliott in Aurora. Find out more at jimmymitchell.com. We're going to take another break and then be back to visit with the head coach of the Wildcats, Coach Clay Weldy. You're listening to Big 8 Conference Football here on the Talon Network. Back here in Cassville, we continue on with the Heritage Tractor post-game show, and perfect timing with that Law Office of John A. Leewright commercial that just played. It's time for the post-game interview with head coach Clay Weldy, brought to you by the Law Office of John A. Leewright. They want everyone to remember, if you don't talk, you may walk, and to call 417-847-2177. Coach, I know it's a tough loss here to open up the season, but boy, a heck of a football game to open up 2025. The Indians escape with a 6-point win over the Wildcats.
Yeah, I'm really proud of our kids, how hard we played tonight. This has been a game the last couple of years where, it's honestly been over in the first quarter. I talked to you guys before I got on here. We've been so young the last few years. We just had trouble up front, blocking their guys, and our D-line was getting blown off the ball. This year was different. I thought, we're finally more mature physically and more mature as a team. We have juniors and seniors playing now as opposed to a bunch of freshmen and sophomores playing. And I thought our kids played really hard. They played a great effort, played very physical. And ultimately, we're right there at the end of the game, but we made too many mistakes throughout the game with just procedure penalties and this dumb little things that it ended up biting us. But I was really proud of our effort and proud of how hard we played all night.
Yeah, you look, it was kind of a contrast there between the two teams. Seneca dominated primarily by their quarterback and their running back, Probert and Miller, where the Wildcats, you guys spread the ball around. You had six different guys carry the ball, 3 different guys catch the ball. You were getting a lot of guys involved in your offense tonight.
Yeah, all summer we got quite a few juniors and seniors that we like, and so we're just kind of rotating guys through. And I think I may have told you this, and I talked to Kyle Troutman about this, that we might be more of a running back by committee group this year. We rotate guys, and that's what happened tonight. We had several receivers make big plays for us tonight, and so maybe that keeps us fresh throughout the year, and maybe we're more healthy at the end of the year. I'm hoping, but we got multiple guys, so we're going to try to use multiple guys.
Well, we'll start talking about some of those guys. We'll start with your quarterback, Jaron Stearns, gets his first varsity start. Did a really nice job for you out there running the offense.
I thought he played really well for us. I was proud of how well he ran off the offense. I was proud of how well he threw the ball tonight. That's a dimension he adds. He's always been a good thrower of the football, and his feet are pretty good. He ran the option game very well, made some really good decisions tonight. I thought for his first start, especially playing a team as good as Seneca, he looked really well. He played really well, and I hope there's more of that coming.
Your running backs, Mason Bryan, Tristan Thompson, was having a lot of success early. Their defenses started making some adjustments, so you started bringing some other guys in. Andon Gautney, Colton Roark carrying the ball. Roark had a nice job receiving and running the football, getting a couple of scores. And then Camden Beebe with a big run late to set up some things for you. And Mace Bredesen, a great night tonight catching the football for you, and he had a touchdown as well.
Yeah, Cole's been a big player for us the last couple of years, and he's going to garner a lot of attention. And so, it was a big point of emphasis I had going into the offseason. Let's try to find ways where it's not all about Colt, with the lean on him so much, There's times he had to carry us last year, and I thought tonight was evident of that. You mentioned our running, Andon Gautney and Tristan Thompson and Mason Bryan all getting big carries for us. BB had some big plays, a kickoff return for a touchdown. It's a long run in the fourth quarter, so it's another touchdown up. Mace Bredesen had a big night for us. We really need another receiver, and especially with Carlos Barrientos being out tonight, I thought Mace really stepped up and did a good job, made some big catches that, changed momentum for us.
And, of course, Beebe with the return yardage tonight, over 150 yards returning kicks, just a great night for him, setting you up with some good field position.
Yeah, that's the thing last year. We felt like we didn't do a very good job special team-wise through the season, and we made some changes there. And, Beebe had a huge night for us. He got some good field position early in the game. Then he had a big touchdown play that kept us in the game. So that's a huge weapon for us.
So many things to build on going into week 2 besides all of what we just talked about. Some correctable mistakes, and you mentioned that with the penalties. And, of course, not making excuses, but as you just said, you were without some players tonight, too, with injuries. So you're hopefully going to start getting those guys healthy in the next 2 or 3 weeks, and that's something to build on off of this momentum here in the second half today. After getting down, Seneca scored those 3 unanswered. The Wildcats showed a lot of fight there in the fourth quarter and came right back.
Yeah, we have 5 starters out right now in this game. So the big thing is I'm hoping that these guys stepping up in these roles, when we get everybody back, that we're a deeper team. And, deep teams can survive some injuries and stuff, and that's what we're hoping we are. But I just thought I was just really proud of how hard the kids have played tonight, just the effort they play with. We came close, but we'll go back and watch film. Usually teams make a big jump from week 1 to week 2. There's a lot of correctable things that came up. We made a lot of mistakes really in the first half too. Guys blocking the wrong person, going the wrong way, procedure penalties. Those are all things we can fix or fixable things. And that's the big thing I saw. It wasn't a talent thing. It wasn't a talent deviation in this game. We lost it. To me, it was mistakes that we made that we can correct. And maybe if we do see them later in the year, we get a better product in the field against them.
Well, you move on to week 2. You head out on the road down to McDonald County. The Mustangs giving Lamar fits up there in Barton County tonight. They appear to be a much improved team.
Yeah, and they're kind of like us. They bring a lot of guys back at certain spots. I think they're going to be a lot more athletic at quarterback this year than they were a year ago. And so I expect them to be a tough out. We got to go there, play on the road. So we know it's going to be a tough game. Coach Heward always does a good job over there at the McDonald County. So we got a big week ahead of us. We can't sit here and say, hey, we played Seneca, really tough. We got to get ready for McDonald County. It's going to be another tough team. Every week in this conference, every game is tough. There's not an easy week. So we discussed after the game that we got to come back on Monday ready to work and get ready because nothing matters what happened last week. We got to get better into this week in front of us. So hopefully we're ready to go and get healthy and go play McDonald County.
Yeah, because you and I talked about that in Coach's Corner in the pregame tonight. This conference, year in and year out, there's never an easy out. I mean, every Friday night, we just talked about Seneca, 2-time runner-up in Class 3, Lamar, defending state champ. Mount Vernon won a district title a year ago. Nevada And McDonald County won district championships the year before that. I mean, every Friday night, boy, you got to strap them on tight and get ready to go.
Yeah, every team in our conference is very well coached. A lot of good athletes. Every team's physical. So even a game that you might win, you're going to come out of it a little beat up too. And that's part of the conference. You got to survive the physicality every week and get your kids back healthy, and hope you have everyone healthy later in the year. And hopefully, us playing as many guys, and we have some more depth this year. We get some guys back in the next few weeks. We'll be one of those teams that is playing our best football at the end of the year.
Yeah, and if these scores in week number 1 are any indication of what's going to happen the rest of the season, boy, it's going to be a knockdown drag-out in the conference.
Yeah, I don't, looking at it, we knew Seneca would be really good coming back, and really everyone else, we knew the Veda, a lot of kids coming back, but I felt really everyone's kind of improved in places. Aurora was kind of a mystery because they have a whole new coaching staff, but, they had a lot of young kids in their team that was athletic, and I mean, you just go down the list, we knew Easton's going to be tough to come back. Mount Vernon, everybody that was on our conference. Monette, another year in that system, we knew it was going to be really tough. So, I mean, whoever it is in our conference, you just throw a dart at it, that team will be a tough team.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your time here in the postgame as always. We thank you for the visit. We'll let you get out of here and get with your kids, and we'll look forward to catching up with you again next week.
Thanks, Sammy.
Head Coach Clay Weldy, the Cassville Wildcats, joining us here for the postgame interview, brought to you by the Law Office of John A. Leewright. They proudly support the Wildcats, and their professional personnel believe in your rights to a fair hearing and representing you with the utmost expertise, integrity, and excellence. Phone the Law Office of John A. Leewright at 847-2177. We'll take another break and be back to wrap up the Heritage Tractor postgame show. We got our postgame awards to hand out as well. You're listening to Big 8 Conference Football here on the Talon Network. Sammy Clapper and Jeremy Marple back with you here in Cassville to wrap things up. The Heritage Tractor post-game show is coming to a close. Heritage Tractor is your local John Deere dealer. They've got locations all around the area, whether you're looking for construction, compact utility tractors, mowers, recreational vehicles. They've got the equipment to help you out, whether it's for your backyard, your farm, or your ranch. Stop by or visit heritagetractor.com. Time to hand out our post-game awards. Our hard hit of the night is brought to you by Berry County Ready Mix. For any and all of your ready mix, stone, or aggregate needs, stop by Berry County Ready Mix at any of their convenient locations in Shell Knob, Cassville, or Eagle Rock. You can call their Cassville office for a free estimate at 847-3200. That's 847-3200. Our hard hit of the night goes to Ricky Norris. He had not one, but two hard hits tonight, and he wins our hard hit of the night award here in week number 1. And again, the hard hit brought to you by Berry County Ready Mix with the office in Cassville, but also locations in Shell Knob and Eagle Rock. Our Wildcat Player of the Game is brought to you by Fast Trip at 104 South Main in Cassville. Great prices and friendly service is what you'll find at Fast Trip. Stop by today, locally owned by Mike and Anita Carr. And our Player of the Game tonight, it's kind of a toss-up between Mace Bredesen and Camden Beebe. Beebe had the big 64-yard run. He had over 150 yards of return yardage on kicks and punts. But Bredesen, a great night for him as well, 73 yards receiving and a touchdown. Came up with a couple of big defensive plays. But in the end, we're going with Camden Beebe. What a great night. Over 200 yards, all-purpose yards with his return yardage and his rushing yardage. And Camden Beebe gets our gets our Wildcat Player of the Game.
Yeah, I mean, you had, like you say, you had a couple guys there had good offensive nights. Beebe, the return yardage setting up the offense, and the big kickoff return for touchdown, the big run to set up the last touchdown to give you a chance for the onside kick to try to win the ball game. Yeah, he had a big night.
So Camden Beebe, our Wildcat Player of the Game, and again, the Player of the Game brought to you by Fast Trip in Cassville. Whether you're looking for snacks, gas, grocery items, fountain drinks, maybe you need some quick cash, they got the ATM there in the store as well. Fast Trip has it all at 104 South Main in Cassville, locally owned by Mike and Anita Carr. One more check of the Jimmy Mitchell Motors scoreboard. Jimmy Mitchell Motors in Aurora, Missouri. They're at 555 South Elliott Avenue. New and used inventory of automobiles, all there for you to check out online at jimmymitchell.com. That's Jimmy, M-I-C-H-E-L.com. The Jimmy Mitchell Motors scoreboard, checking it out. The Bell Bowl in Aurora. The Hound Dogs have now battled back and taken the lead over the Mountaineers, 32-29. So quite the battle there between Mount Vernon and Aurora in week number 1. We've got a couple of finals in the Big 8. Nevada goes to Monette, knocks off the Cubs, 63-34. And a stunner in Lamar. The defending Class II state champs go down to defeat at the hands of McDonald County. The Mustangs head up north and beat the Tigers 39-35. The other Big 8 team in action tonight, Springfield Catholic at East Newton. And this was a second-half score late in the third quarter. The Patriots had come from behind and taken the lead over the Irish 20-17, but we haven't got a score after that. And then a couple of Southwest Conference scores. Marionville leading Stockton 48-23 late in the football game. And Houston, it's gone final. They knock off Pierce City 42-20.
And that Mount Vernon Aurora score is final now.
So the Hound Dogs come back and knock off the Mountaineers.
Yeah.
So a lot of folks were saying the Hound Dogs were decimated by graduation, but they come back and find a way to win the Bell Bowl. And that's and we talk about that year in and year out. Those rivalry matchups, you cannot count on anything happening because the crazy stuff is going to happen in those rivalry matchups. We see it all the time. And Mount Vernon had a few more experienced players coming back than Aurora. Hound Dogs had a lot of new players, but playing at home there at Kelly Field, the Bell Bowl on the line. The guy that started the Bell Bowl, legendary coach at Aurora, Poss Jackson, passing away within the last year, just added some incentive to that, and the Hound Dogs come up and beat the Mountaineers in week 1.
Yeah, big game. Big game. That would have been a heck of a game to watch, too, just like this one here tonight.
So, again, that wraps up the Jimmy Mitchell Motors scoreboard. JimmyMitchell.com is the place to go, or drop by and check out their lot and showroom at 555 South Elliott Avenue in Aurora. Well, week number 1 is in the books. We're off and running in 2025. So some great football around the Big 8 in the first week. And, You expect that in this conference, so some knockdown dragouts, and boy, we had a lot of competitive football games tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, 32-29, 39-35.
A lot of points too.
Yeah, our game 33-27. Competitive football, and these are good football teams. And as you and Coach Wilde just talked about, every Friday night is a good opponent. So, this conference is a gauntlet, and we know that. We've known it for years, and, this is just another year more of the same.
Well, the 2025 season's off and running, and we're glad to be back with you here on the Talent Network. Again, don't forget, Coach's Corner next Friday night starting at 5. We hear from the coaches from Cassville, Monette, Aurora, Mount Vernon, Pierce City, and Marionville as they move on to Week 2. They'll talk about their Week 1 opponents and football games, and then talk about what's happening in Week 2. Live coverage next Friday night, Cassville, Monette, and Aurora once again here on the Talent Network stations and on Web TV. We'll be down in Anderson. The Mustangs will be the opponent for the Wildcats as they go on the road for the first time, and it looks to be a tough McDonald County team that Cassville's going to have to go down there and try to wrangle in Anderson next Friday.
Yeah, I didn't expect anything less. I really didn't know much about what Mack County had coming in. You go to Lamar. We don't know a lot about what Lamar lost off of last year's team either. They're going to put a good product out there, but
with what McDonald County, what Coach Weldy said, they may have found him a quarterback, and it's not that they were needing one desperately last year. They had a couple of pieces to go along with it, but if they found him a good, talented signal caller back there, that may have been what they needed to get things rolling.
Makes a difference, and they're going to be big up front, and so you're going to have to deal with that too. So. Get like you said, get ready to work. You got to put this one in the rearview mirror. Get ready to work, and just next game. That's all you need to think about.
Well, we're going to get on out of here. We'd like to thank Athletic Director Lance Parnell for all of his assistance and hospitality here tonight at Cassville. We always appreciate his courtesies. Like to thank Coach Weldy for coming by and visiting with us, and all the folks here at Cassville High School for the hospitality as well. Thanks to Janet and Dwayne, keeping an eye on things as always back at the studios. And a big thank you goes out to all of our sponsors. You've heard them mentioned throughout tonight's broadcast. They're the folks that help us get these games on the airwaves. You'll hear them mentioned again here in the post-game wrap-up when we sign off. Please stop by and thank these sponsors for their support of our coverage in Cassville High School athletics. If they did not support our coverage, we could not get out and cover the Wildcats throughout the season. So stop by, patronize their businesses. Sometimes a thank you is all it takes, and let them know that you appreciate their support of all of the high school athletics here on the Talent Sports Network, and in particular Cassville High School football here this evening and throughout the season. Once again, our final score, the Seneca Indians win it tonight over the Cassville Wildcats 33-27. This is Sammy Clapper speaking for Jeremy Marple and Todd Speakman, saying thanks for being with us and a pleasant good night from Wildcat Stadium.